So we're starting the show, and
Listen,
everybody,
last episode. I'm sorry. Okay.
no, you need to do it the real YouTuber way. You need to be sitting right in front of the camera and like eyes super red, okay, and you need to look directly at it.
Dip my fingers in my water, get some tears.
There you go, get some tears going.
I failed our fan base. But most of all, I failed America
Yeah,
and Great Britain.
Great Britain especially.
Last episode, we got an email
Mm-hmm.
about like fake sports that we would like to see from like movies, like we'd like to see in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't say Quidditch.
Now, was it?
We didn't say it, and I'm sorry.
You didn't say it. That
We-
episode, I didn't say it either, but you didn't say it more. I just want to ask, that episode, were you wearing the Harry Potter shirt that episode, or was it the episode before?
Do I have a Harry Potter shirt?
Yeah, it was. It says like I forget. I hate the shirt. I think it's a really ugly shirt, but it has like his scar on it. It says like binge mode or something.
I've never worn that. I've never worn that to this show.
I don't know about that one.
I know.
Okay, well,
Maybe one time, like a long time ago.
maybe it was before we started recording them.
Could have been.
It could have been, but something doesn't tell me that's true. But we'll figure it out. I'll know next episode how hard to blast you again.
All
for
right.
this. But I have to say, you actually apologized, so you didn't really nail the whole YouTuber thing very well, because you have to do everything but apologize to
Right.
do those right. Anyway,
Listen, it was the radical left.
listen, J.K. Rowling, she's got some fun ideas. All I'm just saying is, just hear her out, okay?
Yeah, just listen. Yeah, we didn't talk about Quidditch. My bad.
Yeah, that sucks. So Quidditch, there you go.
Yeah, Quidditch. We wish that Quidditch was real, even though it kinda is low key.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It is a real. People do play Quidditch.
Yeah, they don't fly, but they try their
Well,
best.
Again, you try. All you can do is try when it comes to flying in Quidditch.
Right.
But that was last episode. Who cares about last episode?
Screw last episode.
If you are a new listener, don't listen to any of our other episodes except for this one and all the rest of them going forward. Who cares about the past? The past is the past. The future is now. Sometimes the future is wrought with terrible things. Sometimes the future brings destruction. Sometimes hell is full and all the souls come up from hell and back onto earth as the living dead.
Oh, I was like, where's this going?
Right, you haven't heard that quote, I guess.
Sorry.
That's all right. We're gonna be talking about zombie movies for our spotlight.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It's
excited.
October. It's that's kind of a spooky
season.
spooky genre, the whole zombie thing. So it should be a lot of fun. I'm pretty excited about this episode.
Me too. We
Yeah.
got some. I think we got makings of some good conversation later on.
I think zombies and I have a lot in common.
Oh.
We're both usually, pretty focused. We have a goal. We just kind of want that one thing. They want brains. I also would like brains. That would be nice.
Right.
They're usually sometimes they're groggy. I tend to be groggy. That's my middle name.
Groggy.
Yeah. That wouldn't be a bad nickname, Groggy. Like, hey, yo, Groggy. Groggy.
Grog.
Grog. Well, grog is a pirate's drink.
Oh.
They're like, oh, pass me the grog. So I don't know what it is technically, but it's on our pirate episode. We'll tell you all about grog. But for now, we're going to get into our weeks of what we've been doing. I only saw one thing, so why don't you go first?
Okay. Saw a few things.
Cool.
First on the list, we got The Boys had its crazy season finale.
Crazy.
This last week.
Mm-hmm.
It was pretty good. It wasn't. I don't want to say it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was gonna be.
Okay, I heard I had heard that it was pretty crazy.
But it was pretty crazy. It had some really satisfying moments. One being where the three main girls, Stormfront, Queen Maeve, and Kimiko, kind of team up for a minute.
Yeah.
And they just beat the snot out of Stormfront. I mean, like, total devastation.
Ah. So
And-
Stormfront beats the crap out of Stormfront?
Oh, did I say Stormfront?
Yeah.
I meant Starlight. I'm sorry.
Starlight. Okay.
Starlight, Queen Maeve,
Gotcha.
and Kimiko.
Mm-hmm.
They fight Stormfront, and they totally put the smackdown on her. And that
Gotcha.
was a great moment.
That sounds good.
The rest of the episode was still pretty good. The finale of not the finale, but like the finale of the episode
Yeah.
was very good with the mother and Billy Butcher and the kid and
Mm.
stuff. But I want to talk about the character Homelander for a minute because they kind of goes in an interesting direction in this episode, and I saw a lot of people on Reddit and the internet at large
Good old Redditors.
agreeing with me
Good old Redders.
that
Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. I didn't know you used Reddit. I would have been... Hey, do you know when the narwhal bacons? I love Reddit. Reddit's so fun. I love it.
okay,
TikTok sucks.
Reddit
Really
Good.
good. Very wholesome.
Reddit good.
Fuck.
Anyway, Homelander in this episode. Okay, listen. Homelander's a terrible human being.
He's bad Superman.
Right.
Yeah.
But in this episode, I mean, he's still a terrible person,
Mm.
but Stormfront is like so much more terrible that he's kind of all right by comparison. And you can
Well.
see like glimpses of him like actually trying to be a good person.
A
So I'm
hero.
wondering
Yeah.
if they might take him in
Turn
like
around.
a redemptive arc, possibly.
like a Sasuke
I don't
thing.
know how that's possible because he's done very horrible things.
Yeah. But so did Sasuke.
Right. So, you know, I don't know, but there's a part where he's like with his kid and Stormfront's there, and they're trying to get his kid to use his powers, but he's not very good at it, and he can't get his laser vision to go off. And
Okay.
Stormfront's like, "Oh, just try to envision somebody that you hate." And the little kid's like, "Well, I don't really hate anybody." And Stormfront, remember I said she's a Nazi in like
Yeah.
the last episode. She sits him down and she's like, "Listen, something, the world is trying to hurt people like us." And then she like goes on this long rant, and at the very end she's like, "It's called white genocide." And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And even Homelander, like the lowest of the low, looks at Stormfront and he's like, "What are you talking about?" And then I just thought that was a funny moment.
Mm.
And then Stormfront bites it at the end. The kid goes crazy, uses epic laser vision,
Sweet.
which was kind of weird because earlier in the show he lasers her titties,
Right. I remember that. Yeah.
and
loves
she's
it.
all right.
Yeah.
But when the kid did it, she gets like totally destroyed.
Well, maybe it's...
So I don't know if he's like super mega stronger or what, but
I don't know either.
you know. And then ended on a surprising but like I don't want to say predictable. Remember how I
Okay.
told you about the heads exploding and didn't know who was doing it?
Yeah.
It's revealed at the end of the episode who's exploding the heads.
Mm.
And I didn't call it like in the earlier episodes, but I called it in this episode. I was
Gotcha.
like, it's her.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it's a girl.
Okay.
And it was funny because I feel like most people during the season thought it was like the leader of the Church of the Collective or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a part where there's like a scene with the church leader dude and A-Train and the Deep. And then they like leave or whatever. And it's like the camera's like slowly panning out. And the collective guy like puts his feet up and he starts to take a drink of Fresca. And I was like,
Yeah.
his head is about to blow up. And then what do you know? Bam.
I love Fresca.
His head friggin' blows up. And I was like, dang. And then it cuts to the person who did it. And it was exactly who I thought it was. I guessed it only like in that episode. But I did kind of predict it.
Okay.
But it leads into the next season. It's going to be interesting.
Which I think has started filming.
Really?
I think so. So that's
Oh.
good news.
But yeah, overall I liked it. Season 2 is better than season 1, I think. There's some characters that I felt could have used more, but there's so many.
The show as a whole, like, how are you feeling about it right now?
It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Season 1 I wasn't like super hot about. I still liked it, but I wasn't like super into it. This season's better. So overall, I do enjoy the show. I will continue to watch it. But a funny thing is they added a scene in at the end where Homelander's jerking off on top of the tower.
Okay.
And he's like, I can do whatever I want. And he's like, just like looking over the city or whatever, which is funny because it was a cut scene from like the first season that like Amazon like wouldn't let him do or whatever.
Gotcha.
But they just let him, and they just kind of threw it in at the end. I thought it was kind of funny. But yeah,
cool.
The Boys. It was all right. It was cool.
The Boys.
I'm digging it. I saw 2 movies. The first movie I saw was brand new. Brand new. Well, both of them are brand new.
Okay.
But this one's really brand new. Like came out 2 days ago, brand new. The Trial of the Chicago 7. Directed and written by Aaron Sorkin, who, you know, wrote Moneyball.
Pretty cool dude.
We talked about Moneyball.
We did.
Was this on your list to watch this year?
What? What does that mean?
This movie? Were you like?
No, not really.
Watched it?
No.
Like, were you excited? Well, not like excited, but like, were you looking forward to the new Aaron Sorkin movie?
Not really. No.
Oh.
Aaron Sorkin. Okay. I don't know. I just didn't have any expectations for it, so it wasn't really high up there. But tell me how good it is or something.
It was pretty good.
Okay.
It wasn't like, it didn't blow me away or anything, but it was pretty good. Aaron Sorkin is a great writer. I don't think anyone can deny that. He has his, you know, flaws at times, but as a director, he has a lot of room to improve. Not that he's bad, but the movie visually is very plain, and there's nothing, especially with like the like action sequences with like the riots and stuff, just like could be a lot more interesting visually and like the way everything is staged. But other than that, I mean, the performances, I mean, the whole cast, incredible ensemble cast. I mean, like there's so many famous people in this movie, great performances, but I especially liked Sacha Baron Cohen and Mark Rylance, and let me get his name right, Yahya Abdul-Mateen, who I haven't seen in anything, I don't think, but I looked at his IMDb, and he's been in a few things, but in the future, he's going to be in some like big movies. I think he's going to be in the Furiosa thing.
Yep.
But he was good, and I really enjoyed the editing style of this movie. Does a lot of cool like cross-cutting and stuff, and we talk, I don't know if we've said on the episode how much we both appreciate a court scene like in a TV show or in a movie or anything, but that's literally, this whole movie is just like one really long court scene with like flashbacks to like riots and stuff or whatever. So I mean, it's kind of like right up our alley personally. And there's a lot of cool like speeches and stuff. And then Michael Keaton shows up for like 5 seconds. I was like, what? He just shows up and like gives a crazy speech. But yeah, it was all right overall. I thought it was pretty good. I don't really have too much more to say about it. I know a lot of people seem to be liking it. I'm sure we'll see it towards awards season, especially for some acting nominations. But yeah, it was pretty good. I also saw a documentary called Dick Johnson is Dead by Kirsten Johnson, who I haven't seen any of her other work, but she's done a few other things. But this is an incredible documentary. It's basically about Dick Johnson.
Sure.
It's her dad, and it's basically about her dad he has like early Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And it's kind of about her and him, and they're just kind of like preparing for the end of his life. But kind of like not like the movie is presented in like a comedic way, like, so she's like a filmmaker, so they like go through all these like funny ways where he dies, so they like make a bunch of funny sets, and like they have like air conditioner like fall from a building and like land on his head and kill him or whatever. But it's ultimately just about like their relationship and, you know, basically the end of his life, and it's really moving. And it just makes you appreciate like the beauty of life and how cinema can like bring somebody to life and like let somebody live forever. It was, I mean, by the end of the movie, it's extremely emotional.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just really incredible document of this person's life.
What's it on?
It's on Netflix.
On Netflix.
I would very much highly recommend this documentary. It's real short. It's on Netflix, easily accessible. I think everyone could very much appreciate this movie. It was really incredible. I really enjoyed it.
No, I'll definitely check that out. I have to add that to my list.
And then one more thing. I have started the 4th book in the Song of Ice and Fire series, A Feast for Crows.
Feast for Crows.
It's pretty good so far. Something I found interesting, I found out about this book, is this book focuses on only, like, all the characters except... So, like, Dani is not in this book.
Oh,
Dani at all. She's not in
Wait, isn't this, like, the shortest book or something?
No, the first one's definitely the shortest.
First one's the shortest? Oh, okay.
This one's definitely shorter than the second and the third one.
Gotcha.
And then John, I know John is, like, not in it at all. So, like, none of the stuff, like, north on the wall or across the ocean with Dani and stuff, like, happens at all in this book. It mainly focuses on, like, Cersei and Jaime and Brienne and the Greyjoys. Cool. And Dorne.
Oh,
Dorne is a thing in the
Dorne,
books because it, like, doesn't exist in the show.
Yeah.
So I've got a little bit of the Dorne stuff, which is really cool so far. But yeah, I really like it. I love the Cersei POV chapters are great. It's really cool getting inside of her demented brain.
Yeah, I love Cersei.
And then one thing I failed to mention last time is I thought an interesting distinction between the show and the book is when Jaime goes to let Tyrion escape right before he kills Tywin. He asked Tyrion if he killed Joffrey. And in the book, Tyrion is like, yes, I killed your little bastard vile son. And then he just leaves him. And Jaime is like super pissed off.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought that was interesting.
It is
I failed to mention that last time. But yeah, I mean, I'm really enjoying this book so far.
Yeah.
I'm like flying through it this time. So yeah, I just want to say that. And now that I think, yeah, that's all I did.
Well,
and I watched a lot of zombie movies.
Right, me too. What I watched was also on Netflix and was also new. And you can keep your Aaron Sorkins. Who's that? I keep it the realist.
The realist
with true filmmakers like Adam Sandler.
Absolutely.
And Hubie Halloween. Hey, Adam Sandler movies, they have a place in this world.
They do, absolutely.
Okay? The bargain bin. And that's not an insult. that is earnest. It is just good, fun entertainment. Hubie Halloween is the movie. It is a Halloween movie specifically.
I'd hope so.
Yeah, I watched it early. Really jump-started my Halloween mood. Felt really good about it. It is so it's an Adam Sandler movie like the Adam Sandler movies that have been coming out for a while. Pretty crass and stuff. Not the highest, bar for comedy necessarily.
Right.
But it's fun. And this one is surprisingly more fun than the last however many.
Oh.
Very nice. This is like my favorite one since...
Better than Uncut Gems?
Well, that's not... I don't call that an Adam Sandler movie. Probably like the best one since like the bedtime one, the dream...
Bedtime Stories?
Bedtime Stories.
You like that movie?
I said the best one since that. I didn't say I liked it.
Oh, okay.
But at least that one had a little bit of heart. I feel like all the ones I've seen since then have been a little...
You like Grown Ups 2?
I never saw Grown Ups 2.
It's a shame.
Did Grown Ups come out after? It probably did.
I think so.
Yeah, then I like Grown Ups more than that. So, since Grown Ups. And maybe Grown Ups 2. Who knows?
And Uncut Gems.
Anyway, he just makes movies to make movies with his friends and also make a shit ton of money on top of it.
Literally, I love it. Adam Sandler's a great person.
Apparently he calls Steve Buscemi the Boosh.
The Boosh.
I saw an interview where that's how he called Steve Buscemi. He's in this. There's again, if you've seen Adam Sandler movies, you know who's in this movie. There's actually, what's really fun is there's a character in this movie who is masked and gets revealed like near the end-ish.
Oh, nice.
It's like, oh, who is this dude? And if you know who's in Adam Sandler movies, you can knock it down to like 3 people max. I had it down to 2, and just looking at the person's body, I was able to identify who it was. It was very enriching, be able to like, that's that actor. And he takes off the mask, and I was like, oh, I knew it. That was very fun.
I love it.
Despite this movie being having a very mean like plot, basically Hubie's just this giant nerd who loves Halloween, And, he's like a man-child who has this thermos that is like a utility belt that can like do anything. It's kind of a gag. Like it's a flashlight. It's a swing shot. It's a, it's a bunch of things.
Okay.
It's never a gun, which sucks, but it is a vacuum at one point.
Okay.
I was hoping he would vacuum something and like shoot people with it, but whatever. So everyone hates him. Everyone bullies him. They're like, Hubie, you suck.
What the heck?
Like, Hubie, we hate you. But it's been his whole life, so he's like really good at dodging it and stuff.
Okay.
The first 2 minutes, he's riding his bike or scooter or whatever it is down the street, and a bunch of people throw eggs at him. And so he catches all the eggs in his thermos, and he drinks them, and he goes Rocky Balboa style. And he projectile vomits all over the street as he's driving.
Right.
That's like the first joke of the film. So that kind of,
sets the tone.
It prepares you. Despite all the characters being so mean to this character, it doesn't come off as mean as some of his other comedies have to me in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because it's Adam Sandler himself taking the butt of every single joke, you know what I mean? And again, Hubie actually is like a really good person.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's what does it, which makes it more palatable to be like, oh, okay, I can laugh at this.
Yeah.
But the mom character, his mom, is like the funniest part of the movie because she just wears a bunch of like shirts that you'd find at like a Spencer's or something. Like the very first shirt you see her in, it's like it just says boner donor on it. It's all a bunch of like muff diving stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of those kind of gross shirts that gross people would wear, but when you see an old nice lady wearing it, it's very funny. I liked it. I like Halloween too, so seeing this guy, his favorite thing's Halloween.
He's just like, I'm on board.
I need everyone to have a nice Halloween. That's all he wants. He's like, everyone has to be safe. I have to protect the town from this threat of people going missing. He's like, I gotta protect the town. They're all like, fuck off, Hubie. He's like, I will save you. It was a good time. Watch it on Halloween.
Maybe I will.
Watch it on Halloween. And that was pretty much it for me. So that brings us to the news.
The news.
So more bad news. This is a kind of a downer show. Whoops.
I don't want to talk about it.
Dune delayed.
Our child.
And kind of a big delay. Delayed
huge
by a year. Basically.
Yeah, like a whole year.
Yeah. Delayed until October 2021, which is wow. That's a bit farther back than I thought, but they really want that theatrical release.
I mean, I get it.
I get it. I'm not happy about it.
I'd rather wait for this movie so we can for sure get the second part than get this early and have them be like, no second part, and then I'd just cry because I don't get to see the whole thing come to fruition.
Also, personally, haven't seen a movie like Blade Runner, for example, 2049. Seeing it in the theater is definitely an experience I want to have. I don't want this released on video on demand and watch it that way because my tiny little 60-inch TV cannot handle what it should be seen as. Because I think movies like Blade Runner are so much better actually in the theater with those loudspeakers and everything.
Yes.
I want that same experience for Dune. So if that's the only way I can get it is having them delay it by a year, sure. As long as I don't perish, I'm fine with it.
They can touch up some visual effects while they're at it.
Yeah, they can, do whatever they need to do. They did do those reshoots a little bit, so they can make sure that everything is okay and do it safely, which is important. Batman also got pushed back to 2022 shortly after this news, which, whatever. More space between Batmans, totally cool with me.
Right.
But, so we can't go see Dune in theaters.
Which that sucks.
But you know what we can see in theaters? October 30th.
Hashtag Alita Army, rise up.
Alita Battle Angel to return to theaters on October 30th.
Let's go.
Sci-fi action film directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by James Cameron. Debuted in 2019. Did you see Alita Battle Angel?
I have not seen this movie.
See, I didn't see it either. So now's our chance.
Yeah.
But I do have a friend who saw it. And from what I remember, he actually thought, he was like, you know what? Not that bad. Except, apparently there is like a teenage boy love interest in this film that like ruins the movie and straight up takes it from like maybe a 7 to like a 5.
Oof.
Because of one character / actor, because apparently the acting wasn't crazy either.
Eek.
So, it sounds like it could be good.
Come on, Rob.
If I don't know. But is there room for a sequel? Is Alita Battle Angel like a thing that continues?
I mean, Alita Battle Angel has an insane group of individuals.
Well, that is true. The Alita Army.
The Alita Army is insane.
Yeah, they are.
So maybe they can make it happen.
Maybe.
Even if it's a fan edit.
A fan edit sequel?
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe they can just take footage from other movies, but just make the eyes huge. Like take
Oh, there
Black
we go.
Widow,
Yeah.
the new movie, take that footage and just increase her eyes by like 100%. And then you have Alita Battle Angel 2.
There we go.
And of course, dub over whenever they say Black Widow with Alita Battle Angel. Is her middle name Battle? Was her name Alita Angel?
No.
I thought you didn't see it.
Yeah, but it has a colon. So unless her name is
Well,
Alita
she's a
colon,
cyborg. I would hope she'd have a colon and a heart and like all the things that you need as a human. See, the thing is, I don't know what to do with her eyes though.
She's an anime girl.
Oh,
What
it's
do you
just
mean?
that.
Yeah.
Oh, Amy Adams painted her.
Oh.
That makes sense.
There we go.
That
Everything
makes
makes sense now.
Moving on. Anime girls, huh?
Yeah.
Well, there's an anime that I tell you I've wanted to watch for such a long time.
Me too.
And it's never been a thing for me. And the anime is Neon Genesis. How do you say this again?
Evangelion.
Evangelion.
No.
To get first ever Blu-ray release from G Kids or G Kids. I don't know how it's said.
Probably G Kids.
Well, we don't know. It's finally getting North American distribution as a Blu-ray. Here's
Incredible.
the thing. As everyone knows, it came to Netflix. But when I went on the internet, when I went on the Twitter, all the hardcore anime fans, which I don't know why I listen to them. Hardcore anime fans are disgusting. No offense. Please sub.
We love you.
You are one of
People know
them, kind of.
Big anime fan.
They all said, halt, hold it. This Netflix version is an inferior version to the original.
That's what they said.
Yeah. So I never watched it. I never picked it up.
I said, okay, I
said,
won't do it.
I won't do it. But if this can be the one, depending on how expensive it is, because these anime things can be up there sometimes, unless we split it. Because I won't want to keep it probably.
Could
Just
happen.
anime. Ugh.
Right, they can't taint your beautiful collection.
Hey, I have like 4 anime. I have Dragon Ball Z Super Broly in my collection, so I don't think I can get lower than that.
Okay.
As far
Yeah,
as
it's perfect.
whatever.
Are you gonna pick up the new My Hero movie too?
I have watched 1 episode of My Hero, and the last thing I remember is like the kid sitting in his chair going,
Oh yeah,
like that.
it's funny. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I turned it off. Not because of that. I just had other stuff to do. I never went back to it. If this can be the one that everyone's like, this is the perfect kind, it's in the best quality, go, I will finally watch it, and I'll be so excited.
Me too.
But we'll just have to see how it goes. If it is good, we should watch it at the same time, talk about it on the show.
Yes.
That could be great.
That would be perfect.
Next, Benadryl Cabbage Patch. Doctor Strange joins Spider-Man 3, the film slated for a December 2021 release. The third Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland.
Tommy
Holland. Not Fright Night Tom Holland. The other one. The young one. He, okay, so let's just talk about the Spider-Man thing real quick. The new 3. Homecoming, pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't like Tom Holland as Peter. I think I've said this before. I don't like his Peter very much, just how they did it. His Peter feels like Miles Morales, which is just strange to me, especially because there's stuff lifted from the comics that is just Miles Morales, like Ned or whatever his name is. But as a thing, if Tom Holland was black and called Miles Morales, like Homecoming, I would fall in love with it a lot. It would make a lot of sense to me. And if it was Spider-Man instead of Iron Man, But I can understand what they're doing with the character. I've gotten over it for the most part. Mostly because I didn't see Far From Home.
Same.
So I don't really have much to go on. And the ending of that movie that I heard infuriates me because it just makes me think that the people making it hate comic books and the people watching it hate comic books, which I think they do because I kind of hate comic books a little bit. But anyway, Benedict Cumberbatch is going to be just taking over Iron Man's role as instead of having Spider-Man grow as his own person, they're just going to replace Iron Man with they're going to replace Sherlock with the other Sherlock. And
right. I didn't think about that.
And just have him be Spidey's new mentor.
Great. Fantastic.
Which is interesting. But here's the other thing, why I haven't seen anybody really talking about this, but then again, I'm kind of out of the loop. There was a rumor that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to be in the new Spider-Man 3. They were going to reprise their roles, apparently. Sony has come out and kind of shot that down. Here's the thing. Yeah, it could easily be a lie. Very easily be a lie. But since J.K. Simmons was at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home as Jonah, people are saying that Toby and Andrew could come in as a sort of live-action Spider-Verse thing with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. They'd be like a part of it, you know?
It makes a lot of sense.
It's definitely an interesting idea. I don't think it would be anything more than like a scene, probably. Like, I don't know.
But like, remember
the
noise the crowd made when Cap picks up the hammer in Endgame?
Right.
Imagine Tobey Maguire swinging in Spider-Man 3. The walls would crumble to the ground.
See, I love those Spider-Man movies.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A lot of people now have gone back and been like, I hate it.
Spider-Man 2 is an awesome movie.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I think even the first Spider-Man's really good.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2...
They're all good, but Spider-Man 2 is like really good.
Even Spider-Man 3 is not as bad as I think everyone makes it out to be if you acknowledge that it's goofy and stupid, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it is stupid. Like, the parts where he's emo Peter and, like, he's fighting with Harry. He's like, what are you going to do? Cry? And he's like, I'm going to kill you. And he goes, oh, so scared. Like, that stuff's hilarious to me. Like, he's Spider-Man. Of course he's not scared of the stupid dude with the letter opener or whatever. I would probably pop off if Tobey Maguire came. It
would be crazy.
If Tom Holland came in, Nick Fury or Doctor Strange was like, there's someone you need to meet. And Andrew Garfield came in. He was eating a slice of pizza and riding a skateboard. He was like, hey, man, what's up? I'm Spider-Man. And then Tobey Maguire, and he was carrying like 50 pizza boxes, and he came out and he went, pizza time. You know what I mean? That'd be great. That's what everybody wants.
Yeah, literally.
But again,
I mean, that would be awesome.
The other thing that I haven't heard people say is that Jamie Foxx is coming back.
Mm-hmm. He's going to be Electro.
As Electro.
Yeah.
So you have Jameson from the Tobey Maguire ones and Electro from the Andrew Garfield ones. I see why a lot of people are thinking this.
Yep.
And it makes a lot of sense.
But he's not going to be blue in this one. I saw.
Oh.
Because, you know, he's like blue.
Yeah, what color is going to be? Yellow?
Well, I think people speculated that he's going to wear like the OG costume. Like whatever, like I don't know really what it looks like, but like that.
It's green and yellow, like lightning bolt patterns, and then the face is like a star. Like it's a huge star.
That would be hilarious.
I
hope they do that. That would be funny.
I would be surprised if they did that.
They'll probably do like a revamp.
The Spider-Man PS4 one, I think, updated that costume really well because it was very technological. Like it was like redirecting the currents, and the star was actually like a burn pattern on his face. Like in a star.
I do remember that.
I thought they did it really well. But this is interesting news. I guess you just have to wait.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. It'd be super awesome if they did that.
The only thing I really have to say with this is that I think the idea of giving Tom Holland's Peter Parker just another mentor instead of having him grow up is a little weird to me. If that is exactly what they're doing, that's what this article says.
Yeah.
Because at some point you want this Tom Holland to mentor Miles Morales would be the idea, you know, the next generation of Spider-Man, but they might be the same age now. If Miles didn't get snapped, they would be the same age approximately, I think. You know, so that's a little weird. It's a little weird. Moving on. There was a trailer for the final blockbuster standing for this year, which is Monster Hunter.
Video game movie, gonna give it another shot.
Well, it's good old Resident Evil man and his wife Mila Jovovich, who I love. I think she's a great action star, honestly. I never saw Hellboy, but she was probably fine.
Right, yeah. Forgot about that.
I know nothing about Monster Hunter, really.
Me neither.
It's just Army Woman and her squad get sucked through a portal, and then there's dinosaurs and dragons and stuff. And they shoot rockets at them, and they're like, the rockets don't work, so they get big old swords. Okay.
Let's go.
That's fine, yeah. The only thing that I can see that I know from the game to watching this is that the monsters seem really big in this movie. All the footage I've seen from the games, like the monsters are like maybe the size of like a semi-truck. And in this, the monster's like the size of Godzilla. Like it's huge. Okay, Godzilla's really big.
Yes.
It's not that big, but it's a lot bigger. It's like 8 semi-trucks. How about that?
Okay.
If you can envision that.
I can envision.
Yeah. I like the Resident Evil movies. I do. They're kind of a guilty pleasure. Who knows if this will be good? I don't know. The only setting in this is like the desert from the trailer. Hope they go other places than the desert. I'd be a little disappointed.
Right.
But
maybe they will. I don't know.
We'll see.
Video game movies don't have a good reputation. So,
yeah.
We'll see.
We'll see. You know, it does have a good reputation.
Fantastic reputation.
Mad Max.
Yes.
Talked about it on the show before, but the spinoff, which is now titled Furiosa, which I guess that's a pretty inventive title, is in the works.
Yeah. I wonder how they came up with that.
I don't know. At Warner's, with George Miller directing and Anya Taylor-Joy in title role as Furiosa, because it is a young Furiosa. Charlize Theron will not be returning, which I feel so bad for her.
It sucks.
No, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh.
To have to follow up Charlize Theron's performance.
Yeah, it sucks.
That sucks. That's really bad. I have a lot of... Anya Taylor-Joy is, like, hot. And by that, I mean... Right now, she's in a lot of stuff upcoming. She just did Emma, New Mutants, that just came out. That was a while ago. The Witch is the first thing I saw her in, I think.
I think me too, probably.
But she's really...
Rising star.
She's a rising star. She's coming along. Pulling a good old J-Law, you know? Who I think is planning on coming back, by the way. That's also news. Ooh. I think I saw an article where she's like, I took a break because I didn't want people to get sick of me. And I was like, that's a pretty smart move, honestly, if that's true.
Kind of genius, yeah.
It is. Chris Hemsworth also apparently coming along for the ride.
Love it.
Which is interesting. Here's the thing. Charlize's character, Furiosa, was great in Mad Max. I do think this will be kind of a difficult task to pull off totally well. You know what I mean? Especially if they go the same route where it's mostly action, you know, because like how well was Max done in Mad Max? You know what I mean?
Right.
He's just a vehicle for like the action vehicle, right?
Right.
We're definitely seeing how the arm gets gone though, right?
For sure.
We got to see.
There's no way.
If she's born with it, that's lame. She better not be. I want to see it torn off horrifically. You know.
I agree.
Or she chews it off to like escape something, maybe. You know, I don't know. It's fun ideas. Looking forward to it. Shave her head, you know, I can see it. Put some grease on there.
She kind of looks like they got like the same nose, kind of.
Yeah, I see it. As a very young her, because I'm guessing that she'll be very young, it could totally work. Well, The Walking Dead.
More bad news.
You know what The Walking Dead is? Used to be a show.
TV show. The TV show is literally, quite literally, like The
Walking Dead. Yeah, exactly. The season 10 finale, which is apparently the half-season finale or something.
But I don't know, because it's like episode 16.
I don't understand how this show works because I stopped watching it.
Same.
But this finale saw the series low ratings because it got delayed for months. They had like the penultimate episode, and then months later they had the finale, which I'm sure is part of this because people just didn't know what was happening, you know? But still, they have one more season to wrap everything up or not.
Yeah, sure. Just, you know, do whatever, I guess.
And then after that, they have all their spinoffs, like the Carol and Daryl one.
Stupid.
See, but Carol is my favorite character, and it's still stupid because they should have just let her go.
Carol's your favorite character, and like for first half of the entire show. You know what I mean? You haven't seen season 9
I know what
or
you mean.
10
Okay.
or 8.
Well,
Did you see 8?
What was 8?
I don't know. I haven't seen it. I feel like you watched one more season than I did.
I think I did too. But then the next season after that, I literally couldn't watch.
So, you know, there's like 3 whole seasons of development for her character that you haven't seen.
Oh, I'm sure she's very changed. No, the part where I was really upset with her character was when they just let her go off and she's like, I can't do it anymore. I'm just going to live by myself. I'm not going to kill people anymore. And I was like, you know what? This is a good place for her. She was like abused back in the day. So she's like, I felt like, even though they didn't set it up at all, it was just me doing all the work for them. I was like, she wants to end this like cycle. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I was like, wow, that's actually a really good ending for her. And then the next episode, they're like, Carol, we need you to kill 50 people.
She's like, I'm on it.
I'm on it. I'm the right woman for the job. And she got her little knife knuckles, and she went to town.
Yep.
And then they have
Pretty awesome.
the baby one, where all the Walking Dead people are babies.
Very cool.
And they go outside. We'll see. But we're not done with that kind of stuff just yet, because we got one more story. Train to Bussin', follow-up, Peninsula, is coming to VOD just in time for Halloween on October 27th. It will come to video on demand. And
fantastic. I've been wanting to see this.
have you looked at reviews?
They're not great.
Not great.
But, you know.
And I think
I
they
can make my
changed
own
the
mind
title from Peninsula to Train to Busan Presents Peninsula.
Just like Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, which I don't know. I don't think that's a great sign necessarily. It just looks very different. It's so different that I'm wondering if that's where most of the negative reviews are coming from. Because it's so wildly...
I'm going in with an open mind.
Yeah, that is a good way to look at it. But October 27th, you could see it before next show if you wanted.
I might. We'll see if I remember.
If you remember. I'll try to remember you.
Try to remember me. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Remember
for trying
for
to
you.
remember me.
Anyway, that does it for the news.
The news. Wait, no, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Oh, jeez. Good job.
It doesn't do it for the news.
Yeah.
We had a few trailers drop.
There were a
are
few
very
more
important.
trailers, yeah.
I'll talk very briefly about the Expanse trailer. The Expanse had a season 5 trailer. It's coming out in December. I couldn't be more excited. It's coming out like 1 week after Attack on Titan comes out, so December is going to be packed. I'm going to be going crazy in December. I'm very excited. One critic that I follow very closely says that the 5th book is his very favorite book of the whole series, so he said that this season, as long as they do it right, could be an incredible season. I'm very excited. Go The Expanse. I've been a huge advocate for The Expanse on this show. I don't know how much more I can say about it.
Very cool.
We also had the trailer for David Fincher's new movie. He hasn't had a movie in like 7 years.
Not that he's been doing nothing, but...
Right, yes. Yeah. But a movie.
Yeah.
Mank. Little teaser trailer for Mank. What do you think?
Looks pretty good.
It does look pretty good.
Looks pretty good. You've seen a lot of the old-timey technique being, brought up again. It
looks like it was made in the 1950s.
Yeah. A lot of homage-y type stuff. I hope, my one hope is that it can still find its own identity and be very, forthcoming with that. Big excite.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. And then lastly, but not leastly, the new trailer for Soul came out, the new Pixar movie, and also news that it's going to be just going straight to Disney Plus for free.
I guess
on December 25th.
The Mulan thing maybe had something to do with that.
Yeah, because they released Mulan, but it was like $30 bucks.
$30 on top of the subscription that you already pay.
Yeah. So I don't know if that didn't work.
And it was a rental.
Yeah, really. So Soul. I mean, I feel like this could be like one of the most seen Pixar movies. I mean, Christmas Day, where every kid is going to be like, see the new Pixar movie. Everyone has Disney Plus. Boom.
Just from the trailer, though, to talk about the movie itself.
Yeah.
I wish I heard more music in the trailer.
Yeah, I think the trailer is bad.
Yeah, the trailer's like not great.
But I think that's a good sign. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that the trailer's really bad. That maybe this is like one of those Pixar movies that's just going to come out of left field and everyone's going to be like, this is just the greatest Pixar movie ever. Maybe. What an incredible masterpiece. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Maybe it's garbage.
Very well could be garbage.
I don't know.
We don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
But yeah, that does it for the news.
That does it for the net news. So we're moving on, guys. I'm not a zombie. I'm just yawning. But
Is Marilyn a zombie?
Marilyn, I'm going to say no. If she moves, let us know.
Yeah.
Zombie movies. We've got 10 for you. Okay.
Oh my gosh, Marilyn. Whoa.
We got 10 for you today. Just to be clear with you guys, these are not our 10 favorite. These are not the 10 best. These are just 10 that we want to talk about.
Yes.
That's
because
it.
I think as will become apparent that we definitely do not love all of these movies.
We have problems with a lot of these movies. One in particular we probably have the most problems with. But why don't we just get right into it with the first one on the list here?
We just talked about the sequel.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the OG-quel.
Yeah.
Train to Busan from 2016.
We've mentioned it on the show before. You're a big fan.
Yes,
Big
directed by Yeon Sang-ho.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of like the top grossing movies ever in South Korea, which is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
I like this movie a lot.
Yeah, it's a very, I don't know if you call it simple plot, but like you're just in the action and it's like go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You have a premise, you set it up really quick, then you're on the train and it's like this
To
is
Busan.
the movie. Right, exactly. It's like this is the film. What I really like the depiction of the zombies in this movie. It feels kind of realistic to me for the most part. You know, I was like, these are crazy.
It's an infection, right? It's an infection in this
I
one.
believe so, yes. And of course he did as well as Soul Station, which I don't know if you saw.
I haven't seen that, but
He did Soul Station. From what I've seen, like this is way better than Soul Station. Soul Station was fine. It had like one major thing that I had a big problem with that I won't tell you. But this film hits just a lot of the notes that you want in a zombie flick to me. One of my favorite things in zombie films is seeing the improvised defense, the improvised weapons. I love thinking about stuff like that. So when he like tapes up his fists and everything, you know, that's like some of my favorite parts of these films.
Yes. I think another thing this film does great is I just care about a lot of the characters in this one. The dude from Parasite is in this movie. I realized on rewatch, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the dude from Parasite. Yeah. But one specifically is the dad. Not the main dad, but the other dad that unfortunately makes a heroic last stand on the train. But like when he dies in the movie, I'm like crying. And I'm just like, I know this guy for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, it is pretty sad.
And get emotional at the end too. Like I don't know why, like for some reason, even though there's like not really much like development, you can just like feel what these characters are going through, and like you're just kind of like with them, and you just feel it because like everybody dies in this movie, like everybody.
Yeah. The other thing with a lot of zombie movies you see is how do people get along in this sort of scenario, you know? And sometimes it could be refreshing to see a lot more cooperation than like out to get everybody else. You know, there is a little bit of a sense of togetherness at points.
Well, there's the one guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
He's got to be like probably like the number one worst person in any zombie movie. Yeah. I hate him.
Even more than a certain teenage girl we're going to talk about later?
Second place.
Okay.
He's second place. Then.
There we go.
Okay. He's terrible.
Yeah, he's not great.
He doesn't get it bad enough at the end.
Yeah, but like it's just these people just trying to get to Busan, and you know, some zombies just come and ruin their day.
I know, what the heck? What the heck, zombies?
Very rude of those zombies to do that. But it also, I don't know. It's great.
It's on a train.
Yeah. Again, interesting place for a film like this to take place. You know, I'm surprised that there wasn't a plane to Busan.
Well, here we go. Let's go.
And then
Hollywood.
There can be an automobiles to Busan after that.
Could you also
get Steve
boat
Martin
to
in
Busan?
Boat to Busan. That's pretty good.
Skydive to Busan.
Skydive to Busan. Spaceship to Busan.
See, look at we got like
or
10
spaceship
movies lined up
to Moonsan.
Now we're cooking.
There you go.
Now we're cooking.
Submarine
Submarine
one would actually be pretty freaky.
A submarine zombie movie would just be the worst, most claustrophobic thing.
Well, because
ever.
imagine if the zombies could walk on the bottom of the ocean and still live because they're zombies. So you'd be like, have to ice break through the layer of zombies, you know?
Interesting.
And then if one is in there, if you get the infection inside, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's basically game over.
Yeah.
One thing that this movie does that I've never seen, I don't think so, in another one, is the zombies cannot see if it's dark.
Yeah.
Which I don't think I've ever seen in another zombie movie before where they can't see if it's too dark.
I feel like it's sometimes implied in certain movies, but for it to directly be a big plot point is,
Yeah, but I mean, they're like almost completely oblivious. I mean, they're not like, they can still hear, and if they hear something, they'll go for you.
Yeah.
But like, they're like looking at it and like fighting them, and then they go in the tunnel, and they're just like, oh, what?
Right, yeah.
I always thought that was interesting, and that's a cool little like stealth mode scene where they're trying to
a
like
lot
sneak
of,
through.
A lot of zombie things, they say like, oh, they can smell you or something like that, where these ones don't have that ability. They're a lot more human in their scope in that way. Is very interesting, you know? Like, well, dogs can see in the dark, right?
Yeah, they got like night vision.
But like, if you put like a towel in front of yourself and then drop it and then like hide,
They're like, oh my God.
your dog's like, what? So it's kind of like that, right? Yeah.
And
I wonder if that would work on the zombies if you did the towel thing.
the towel drop, they would just be like, what the heck?
I wonder.
Okay, no one to eat anymore.
Right. Yeah.
And Lilo and Stitch makes a surprise appearance in this movie. At the very end.
Stitch does. He shoots all the zombies. He takes care of them. Then he goes, Ohana.
Yep.
And then Sora puts him back in his Pokeball. I don't know. Very good, guys. Check it out.
Yeah, I recommend Train to Busan. Start watching foreign movies, you freaking
Train to Busan definitely
heroes.
definitely pierced the veil.
For sure. Train to Busan walked so Parasite could run.
Maybe. You know what? Maybe. Like, honestly, it was definitely more popular over here than I would have ever expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real.
For sure.
I wish Burning was like that, but whatever.
Me too.
We'll have a whole Burning episode sometime.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about the actor in You
right now.
For our second movie, which is very recent. It's a 2020 film. It's called #Alive, or maybe #Alive, or number alive,
or Shift 3.
Yes. Very, very new.
Very new. This is like this year.
Yeah. This is from the perspective of, I think, a person that we've needed for a long time. We need a gamer's perspective.
Gamer
in the zombie apocalypse.
Gamer in the zombie apocalypse. Spoiler alert.
Kills it.
He lives.
Yeah.
He does a great job.
Absolutely kills it in this movie.
Gamers unite.
He's at home gaming.
He's a streamer.
Family. He's also a streamer.
This is, just incredible.
Incredible. His family's out doing something. And they get separated because there's like a lockdown. Zombie virus breaks out. He's stuck in his apartment alone with just his PC and not a lot of food.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So, like, the first third, maybe, of this film is him most of the time alone. He has one run-in with someone coming into his apartment who's infected that he deals with.
He handles business.
And then a lot of it deals with, and I think this is very, topical, of this, like, isolation he feels of being stuck inside. You know, it's being very dangerous for him to go out. I feel like that was interesting. I wouldn't imagine that this was in response directly to the real life events, but it's very fortuitous. It was like
early in the year, I think.
Yeah, it's very fortuitous that way.
Yeah, funny how that happens.
That, he's struggling with kind of staying sane once his internet goes out and he can't game.
That's my favorite part is like the zombie apocalypse is like happening and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to hop on Minecraft
just play PUBG for a few rounds and just...
He just hops on, he's just gaming, and then he just like gets disconnected. He's like, oh,
yeah.
I'm just like, dude.
He takes it rough.
I love it.
Eventually, he thinks he's alone. He finds a girl across the way in the other like block who's also in her room, and they start messaging each other on paper, on their phones or whatever.
Right. Because he's going to kill himself.
Yeah. He's so fed up with being alone and being stuck, and he never thinks he's going to get out. He's run out of food. And then she stops him, and it's very nice with a little laser pointer.
I thought he was just gonna get shot. I was like, oh, he's just gonna get shot
himself
in the movie.
Get shot. That'd be rough. But they end up teaming up and surviving together, and they make a plan to get out. They're like, okay, we need to get out. There's not enough food. There's too many zombies around here. One of my favorite parts of the movie is some of the choreography when they both get on the ground and are fighting off the wave of zombies.
Yeah,
there's cool camera work and cool just physically what the actors are doing, because she is like seems very good at surviving. She's got like that weird pickaxe thing, that climbing hook, you know, and she's using the car. Cool. She's climbing through the car to like bait everybody and stuff. And then he's a little bit more clumsy, but he's still helping out. I was very impressed by how they did that scene together. Also, he uses a drone because he's a big tech
I love
gamer.
the use of like the technology and stuff. I was like, this is really cool.
It was a very updated
and stuff.
idea of, you know, what could go on. I mean, I think they could have explored it more even.
Well, the end kind of leaves it. I mean, I like the ending, but...
Right. Eventually they find more survivors. Do we want to say?
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah. We're going all in.
Thank you. It finds another survivor. They're like, oh, we didn't know anybody was here. And he's like, me neither. Turns out he's a psychopath.
Hate this guy, by the way.
Yeah,
he's terrible.
Rough dude. He's keeping his wife alive by feeding her people because she's a zombo. And they're next. He drugs them. And but luckily they're super
That part I found kind of weird. Well, because they're like... They don't want to drink the water, obviously, because they're being cautious. But then the dude drinks the water, and then he's chill. And then they both drink the water. And then the dude passes out, and the girl, like, kind of passes out, but doesn't really.
Yeah.
And then she stays awake, and then the other guy just never passes out. So I'm just confused on how the drugging happened.
It could be a few things with that. I didn't watch this carefully enough when I was watching it. One, obviously, the dude drank the whole glass. She didn't. And two, the dude might... I don't know... If he'd been doing this for a while, he might have made the plan. If you drink it enough, you would build up a bit of a resistance, immunity, possibly. Yeah. And, if he just had a sip, he could have also just had a sip. I mean, like, I know this is drugged, but if I just go, he'll drink the whole thing down, because they were also super, like, starving and dehydrated and everything.
Yeah.
So, they were...
That makes sense.
Yeah, you can make up a lot of reasons why. And then, because they're super badass, they get out of it. They're super tough.
Close call.
They run up to the roof. They've got a whole horde coming after them. They're like, this is it. This is all we can do. It's goodbye, world. It's been fun. And then Aladdin shows up.
He's like, jump on the magic carpet.
Exactly. What's that voice? That's not how Aladdin sounds. Helicopter shows up, mows them all down, well, except for the two that are alive. Kills all the zombos.
Right. It kills everybody. They just die and the movie's over.
And they're like, get on. And they get on the helicopter. And another part of the movie that I really, really liked is they move out of the lockdown zone. They're getting back to like civilization, and their phone reconnects to like the network, and they get all the messages from their loved ones, giving them all advice and like cheering them on and everything, and all their social media posts getting stuff and everything. And I don't know, there's something about that where the whole movie was very pro technology. It wasn't an anti-technology film, which I was almost expecting going into it.
Yeah.
But I felt like this stance was very pro tech.
Yeah, it was because like at the end, like the lady on like the news or whatever, it's like you can like
use your
put
hashtag,
a hashtag on Instagram
and geotag yourself,
and we can come rescue. Save you.
Exactly.
It's like, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, right. So I was glad that it took that stance. If it would have been super anti-tech, it would have been more run-of-the-mill to me, I think. So I was pretty impressed, and it was just fun to watch most time.
Yeah,
it's very.
It's not too long. It
not at all.
It starts moving real fast paced. Pretty good.
Another thing I liked was he was literally starving, had nothing to drink, and so he sits down in front of a cabinet. He goes, "Forgive me, Father," and he opens up the liquor cabinet. And it's like untouched because like his dad would have like beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
and he like finally does it. I just thought that was a nice little.
It's great. We love in you.
Yes.
Watch Burning.
Burning, so good. If you think he was a bad actor in Burning and you know who you are, watch this movie, and it will prove you wrong. He's great.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up next?
Wreck-It
Ralph.
Wreck-It Ralph. This is just the greatest zombie movie.
Wait, is there a zombie in Wreck-It Ralph? There might be.
Well, if you call whatever Turbo turns into at the end a zombie...
Turbo's a snail from Turbo.
There probably is a zombie in Wreck-It Ralph
somewhere.
from one of the games.
But we're talking about Rec.
REC.
Yeah. Who knows what that could stand for?
I don't know.
Something Spanish, I bet.
Directed by Jaume?
I'm not sure.
Balaguero and Paco Plaza. A little co-directing. action going on. This is a Spanish movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see many Spanish movies, to be honest.
Me neither. I watched Grand Hotel. That's a show.
Oh, see, I don't even know what that is.
It's fair. It's good.
Interesting. This is like a found footage film about there's this reporter lady and her cameraman, and they are doing like a piece on the firefighters in their city, and they're just kind of chilling with their firefighters for the day, shadowing them, following them around with the camera. They get a call to go to this apartment where this lady is like going crazy, and she's like trapped in there, so they're going to try to get her. And when they get there, the lady is like super crazy. She's a zombie, basically. She tries to eat people, and then like the police come and a whole bunch of people come, and they like totally like seal off the building. They quarantine the building, and they just trap everybody in the apartment building in there. And it's basically just them trying to survive inside of this like real tiny apartment building.
And it's very... The kind of the selling point of the movie was it was supposed to be like you were there.
Yeah.
You know, it's the found footage where it's like basically you're like living the moment of this movie. Like you're put in that perspective.
And it definitely felt that.
Yeah, it definitely accomplishes that in like the Cloverfield way or whatever you want to compare it to.
Yeah, I think this movie's like actually quite frightening.
Yeah, no, I remember this.
It's pretty
has
scary.
Some pretty good scares in it. I remember specifically even a lot of the sound throughout the movie was very frightening. Just different screams coming from who knows where at
like
times,
where,
you know?
Oh man.
Yeah.
I remember I was literally like hiding behind my blanket. I remember I was like literally hiding because I was pretty frightened the whole movie.
Yeah.
But there's a part where like they get to like the penthouse or whatever, and they're like looking around, and they find like this trap door to like even higher. And the camera, this is at the point where all the lights in the whole building have been shut off, and they're in like night vision, and this is already like really scary. And he like puts the camera like up into the attic, and he's like twisting it around to see if they can see anything. And the whole time I was just like, oh my god, very good, please.
Yeah.
And then of course it happens, and I was like, ah. But the whole movie, especially like the final act, is like it's literally just in complete darkness, and that part is just like, no thank you.
Yeah.
Very, very scary. I do not like it.
Yeah, this movie, I think, definitely accomplishes what it sets out to do. There's 4 of these.
I didn't even know that. I only thought there was 2. I haven't even seen the second one.
I've seen the second one. Don't remember a thing about it, but I know that I didn't like it very much at all. So I didn't bother watching the third or the fourth, even though the third looks interesting to me. So first one, great. The rest, I don't know. At your
I don't know.
peril.
I haven't seen them. Maybe I'll see the rest of them. I don't know. But I like the first one.
Yeah, the first one, great.
Funny thing, though, I wanted to say is this movie, like, doesn't exist anywhere. Well, it does, but it doesn't. I tried to find it on Prime Video.
Yeah.
And I found it, but I could only watch it with the English dub.
Oh.
So I couldn't watch it in, like, the original Spanish. So it was just, I haven't seen, like, a dubbed live action movie since, like, the old, like, Godzilla movies. And it was just kind of weird, but honestly, it wasn't that bad.
Right.
I thought they did an all right job.
Yeah, no, it can work sometimes as long as the performances are fine.
Yeah,
you know.
I thought it was good. But yeah, I like this movie. Check this one out for sure.
All right. Next up, we have I think an important movie to talk about today, which is Dawn of the Dead, and not Dawn of the Dead 2004.
Yeah, we don't like George Romero here.
Okay.
Just kidding. That was a joke.
Well,
that was a joke.
But we're going to be talking about Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead from 2004. I think there's a lot to like about this movie. I think there's quite a bit to not like about it as well. But I think it's overall very positive.
Yeah.
Very positive. Because I own it. So it'd be weird if I didn't like it. Because I do own it.
That's true.
I think this, along with movies like the one I'm going to go to is 28 Days Later, are kind of responsible for the resurgence of zombie stuff we got in like the 2000s, you know?
Yeah.
Specifically Dawn of the Dead, I felt hit a lot of the same beats that you see repeated in other lesser, I would, you know, even be bold enough to say zombie flicks, you know? Just very fun movie, I think.
It is very fun.
Yeah. The characters, not really the likablest. The most likable.
No,
generally.
there's not like one person where you're like, you know what, I'm just gonna root for this guy. Maybe like the cop.
Right. Yeah. Maybe. Everyone else is just kind of like a person, which works, I think, because, you know, if you're with a bunch of strangers,
Yeah.
if you were in that position, how much you're going to be like, I love all these people. They're all
Right.
great and not racist, you know? But, so you really get the ragtag group coming together feeling from this one. Obviously, the setting of a mall is just very
Yeah, the mall is really
interesting
cool.
because everybody's thought about, like, what if I could just run around the mall and just take whatever I want, do whatever, you know? It's just a very fun setting. And they have a few rules with this virus that are a little bit interesting, which you see sometimes. But like this one, they only care about humans, these zombies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they are
cool.
human-centric, so they can use like a dog.
That I was like,
I know,
no.
it's so rough. But they can use like a dog to send a message. It's a very talented dog.
Great. I mean, incredible work from the dog.
Yeah.
Went through the whole zombie horde and made it all the way to the other side.
It's very cool. And then, of course, the scenes of them. And this is just a survival movie. That's it.
Yeah.
The plot is a bunch of people just try to survive in a mall, you know, which is fun.
Yeah.
The scene where they armor up the, like, bus. It's a bus or a...
Yeah, it was like the transport bus, whatever. Yeah.
They armor, that was cool. A lot of fun with all the slits in it and everything.
Mm-hmm. Didn't really work out too well for them.
Didn't really work out too well. I didn't know how to say it. Another thing is that there's sometimes, especially in zombie movies, where sometimes characters make such stupid mistakes that you're just absolutely flabbergasted and it ruins the whole movie.
I.e. the next movie we're going to talk about.
I.e. the next movie. Every mistake that's made in this movie, I feel I can like understand. I'm like, you know what? In a very stressful situation, okay. Even if you're super pissed off, you know, it's just like, okay, nobody's perfect. Things will go wrong, you know. But overall, it doesn't take away from the film.
Yeah, like
ever.
when you know, sometimes you just accidentally cut somebody in half with a chainsaw. It just happens.
Yeah, it just happens sometimes.
It's something that happens.
It's like, you know, but high stress, you know, stuff. Another thing that I love about this film, which is, I don't know, I think it's so cool, is the ending.
What specifically about the ending?
The ending, that when it stops being the movie and then from the water.
Yeah.
That I love that part of the movie because it's such a like gut punch in a way where it's like, oh, you thought it was a happy ending or a happy-ish ending.
Psych.
Well, zombies don't die like normal people. So it's a little rough. And it's an idea that I feel like a lot of people go to. It's like, oh, just go to an island. And it's just kind of like, well, what if this happens? It's like, you have no answer anymore. It's go to a plane at that point. Until the zombies learn how to use planes, you're safe. Or run out of fuel.
And
space station. Crash. There you go.
There we go. To the moon.
Train to Moonsan. Spaceship to
once
Moonsan,
again.
Sorry. Anyway, did you have anything else to add to it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, in the bonus features for this disc, for the Blu-ray,
yeah,
I was looking through
edition,
and I saw something that I was like, okay, I have to watch this. It was like a zombie mockumentary, Being a Zombie Rocks, or something like that. And it starts off, and it's Zack Snyder.
Okay.
And he's like talking about the movie or whatever, and he's like, you know, I worked with the studio for it, and I'm really glad that they let me put real zombies in this movie.
Oh, I remember this. No, I totally
and
remember
it's like
that.
a whole thing where they're like trying to work with the zombies.
Yeah.
And it's just like a really funny little like mockumentary.
Addition.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
That is very cool. Yeah. So Dawn of the Dead 2004 one is the one you want to look for. The original is, I think, good too. A lot of people actually have problems with it.
You can't see this movie, the original.
Yeah.
I looked for it everywhere.
It's rough.
I don't even know. I don't know. I haven't seen it because I tried really hard, but I couldn't.
I think the only place you can see it anymore is like a drive-in in the Midwest.
Why?
I don't know.
Like all these other movies, all these other George Romero movies are easy, but for some reason this one is like, no.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about a movie that I wish I couldn't find.
Let's go.
I'm talking about 28 Weeks Later from 2007.
Sequel to 28 Days Later.
Sequel in a sense of like it's the same world, not the same characters.
Right.
But it is the same universe. You know, it's the same zombie rule set.
Yes.
So, do you want to talk about 28 Days Later at all, just for a second?
Let's go for it.
I think 28 Days Later is great.
Yeah, good movie.
I love 28 Days Later.
Very good.
Cillian Murphy kills it in that movie.
Ho.
Right?
Good one.
Very fun stuff going on. The rules, these are like the scariest zombies ever. Although, technically, not zombies.
Right.
Technically, okay, we're going out on a limb here because this is a rage virus. Which is kind of like a movie like The Crazies, where it just infects people and it makes them blind with anger, and they will claw and bite and try to kill or infect anybody. Because sometimes they do go out of their way to like infect people and not just kill them. But they are alive still, so they do not have to be shot in the head necessarily to die, which is interesting. It makes them not OP, because if it was both, because you turn in, 10 seconds?
It's very quick.
You turn in about 10 seconds. If any blood gets in your eye, your mouth, any open wound, blood, not a bite, any blood comes into contact, or bite, obviously.
Yeah.
You're gone in 10 seconds. You got 10 to like do what you need to do. Say, hey, I love you, daughter, or whatever.
Oh, that seems tough.
And then, you're gone. Or, you have 10 seconds to like kill someone if they turn, Very cool rules, I thought, in this universe. First movie,
But they starve.
Yeah, they also starve because they're still alive. So they do need to eat to continue living. So that was from like 2003, I want to say.
That was early.
Directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland of Devs
We
and
love Alex Garland
Ex
here.
Machina fame. And then later on, they executive produced a sequel, which was 28 Weeks Later in 2007.
Yes. This one is directed by Juan Carlos Fresnadillo.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
This movie blows.
Probably Fresnadillo.
No, okay. Does this movie blow?
Does this movie blow? Yes. I don't know. Probably.
It has such an interesting premise. When I read like the synopsis, I was like, "Oh, it's so cool," and then the movie sucks.
What is the premise?
So it's like 28 weeks later.
Right. 28 days later is 28 days after the first infection outbreak happens.
Right.
And then the
this
movie
is
starts.
28 weeks later after that, which seems very quick for what happens, but they're basically all the zombies or all the people who have been infected with the rage virus have died from starvation.
Starved, yeah.
So they're like, okay, we're just... Oh, the other thing is like it's only on Great Britain where this happened.
Yeah,
All the rest of
it's
the whole
isolated.
world is fine. So they're like, okay, we're going to try to repopulate Great Britain.
They send in 15,000 people to Great Britain to live again in like District 1
Yeah,
or whatever.
they made like a little district thingy or whatever.
Everyone's got jobs and try to make
It's
it as stable as possible.
Fantastic.
Swimmingly even.
It's just going amazing.
It's like Gremlins. There's just like one rule.
You don't go outside of the district.
Don't go to where the zombies are.
Yeah, literally.
And that's
Don't
it.
go to where it's not safe.
Yeah.
And the main character, dude, who we learn at the beginning of the movie, is a terrible person.
Hey, okay. I don't agree with that at all. He's not great.
Okay, he's a selfish person.
Fair. That is fair. What happens is basically he's living out in the country with like no one. A random little boy shows up and is like, please let me in. Turns out he brought like hundreds of zombies with him chasing after him. And things don't go well for the cottage family.
Yeah, and he literally leaves his wife and the child to just die.
Hey, okay, in all fairness, I would have left the child. I will say it right now.
Oh, I agree, but that's his wife.
Not the wife.
And she's like screaming at him.
Right, exactly, for like minutes.
And he just looks at her and he just leaves.
And the important part is that he leaves before she's bitten.
Yeah, he doesn't even try.
So it's one thing if she got bit and then he was like, I'm out.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine. That's
she was
understandable.
okay.
But she's totally normal and he traps her in the room with all the zombies,
Yeah, it's bad.
Again, stressful, but dude, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, their kids were like on vacation or like a school field trip to like America, I think. So they were totally cool. They're totally safe.
Yeah, they're chilling.
So 28 weeks later, meet up at the city. They come to live with their dad in the new city.
Yep, and he's like not like super high ranking, but like he's up there. He's got the
up there.
passcode to get through some things. And they're like, "Oh, this is so great. I love it." And the stupid daughter, here we go. Listen.
Tammy, I think.
Tammy here
And Andy are the two
is
kids.
personally responsible for the deaths of everybody on the island.
Of 14,997 people.
It is 100% her fault.
Yeah. and her little brother is an accomplice, but it's mostly her.
It's mostly her because she's like, they're just chilling.
Chilling in their apartment that's super furnished.
Yeah, amazing.
It's great awesome view.
Apartment. She's like, you know what? I want to sneak out and go to our old house so I can get my card again.
Yeah, I need my old Aeropostale shorts, okay? I need them or else I'll die.
Yep. So she convinces her little brother or whatever.
Because she's like, don't you want to get a picture of mom? He's like, okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Devious.
Terrible. They sneak out, I guess. The military, they see him, but they're just like, nah, there's kids leaving. And they're like, okay.
We'll get them, I guess.
And so they steal a moped and they drive all the way to their house.
Don't gloss over the moped scene. So they're walking around and it's totally abandoned, okay? And at this point, I'm thinking, you know what? They're stupid kids. Maybe the news didn't really go over exactly what happened. Maybe that's why they're sneaking out and doing this ridiculously stupid thing. And then they find a moped. They're like, oh, we can't get the moped. How are we going to get this to work? And the girl's like, just wait here. She goes into the pizza shop that owned the moped. And she digs through the dead bodies to find the keys. And she's like, oh, here's the keys. And she kicks the dead body over and takes its helmet and gives the helmet that was on the rotting corpse to her little brother. Which, you know, if the blood enters you at all, immediately it's infected. Over. She's like, here's this helmet that was just on a dead body rotting in the pizza shop.
Right.
I see nothing wrong with the situation. Let's go to our house.
Let's go. So they drive to the house and they're in there and they're like, oh, this is so great. Yay.
They're just chilling, jumping on the trampoline, doing whatever.
They're having fun. And the little brother's like, I'm going to go into the attic. Yeah. And the attic is like really gross and disgusting. He's like, oh, this is maggots really weird. Everywhere. And then there's this like creepy lady in the corner. And then it's like, OMG, it's the mom.
It's the mom. What? We saw her get
How did
trapped
she
in
live?
the bathroom. Yeah.
I would have liked to see how she escaped that situation. Probably just threw the kid at the zombies,
right, or something,
and was just like,
the other thing I was disappointed was I was expecting for her to get naked at some point. No, I was they show like where she was bitten. It's like one bite. I was expecting like her whole body to just be like bite marks.
Oh, that would be cool.
I mean? Like that would have just been a cool visual of like they wash her off, you know, because they do, because she did get naked. Actually, now that I think about it,
yeah, she's like, ah!
When they're washing her off, and her whole body is just bite marks because there were a lot of zombies crowding around her in that room, you know?
Yeah.
That would have been a cool visual that I guess they just didn't think was interesting enough.
But she hasn't turned.
What's the deal with that?
OMG, she has 2 different colored eyes. If you have 2 different colored eyes in this universe, you're fine.
You're safe. Well, you're safe-ish because people like that, which the son Andy has as well, it's passed on to him, are, except for the eye, are completely asymptomatic. Their one eye goes bloodshot. And that's the only way you can tell.
But they're fine.
They're fine, but they're also still carriers of the disease.
Right. They can
so if you kiss someone who has the disease and their saliva gets in your mouth, you will turn in 10 seconds.
Yep.
You know, so
which unfortunately
does happen to the dad.
The stupid dad is like, I'm here, and then she's like, oh, I forgive you for leaving me to die. Let's make out.
Yeah. She's like, I love you so hard. Ugh.
And then they make out, and then he's like, and turns into a zombie and he eats her face.
Yeah, he punches her first, which I was like, that's funny.
And then, all thanks to the stupid daughter, they have begun.
Oh, also, they're like super mad because the mom's still alive. They're like, oh, you didn't tell us, which is understandable. But they're like, you didn't tell us that mom was still alive. You liar. What happened? Blah, 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 blah. And that's kind of like the last bit of agency they get in the film, is like that scene. The rest, they're just kind of being carted around because they're kids. Well, really, there's a scientist lady who's trying to keep Andy safe because he does, supposedly, because he has the heterochromia, have the immunity to him. So they want to study his blood, see if they can get a vaccine, something like that, you know. Fat good it would do now because everyone's already dead, but for preventing it in the future makes sense. So they want to keep him alive for that reason. That's why, you know, they're just not cutting loose and going their own ways.
Right. So, thanks to the daughter, a bunch of people start dying. There's a whole new outbreak happening in District 1.
That outbreak goes so bad that the government's just like, you know what? Kill everybody.
You know what? Listen.
Great.
Idris Elba. By far the best, smartest character in the whole movie.
Yeah.
I talked to a few people about this, and they were like, what? That's crazy that they would do that. And I was like, what are you talking about?
What?
Code Red is an incredible plan.
Yeah, that's the plan. I'm actually mad about Code Red because it wasn't just like an atomic bomb.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Like, for people that don't know, Code Red is their first idea, or the part 1 of Code Red is to try to like control the situation.
Yeah, containment.
And then the second part of the thing is to kill the infected.
Right.
And then the third part
is the prestige.
If it goes is the prestige.
It's extermination.
Is literally just kill everybody and like
kill every living thing.
And he's just like, you know what? Idris Elba's like, we're just gonna kill everybody. And I was like, you know what? I'm on board with this.
Thank you.
So they literally just start killing everybody.
They like napalm the city.
Yeah, they blow up everything.
But sadly, Jeremy Renner has to come in with his Hawkeye skills because he's kind of just Hawkeye a little bit.
He's literally Hawkeye in this movie. He's Hawkeye in every movie.
Just says, you know what? Let's save everybody because I don't like killing people, even though this is explicitly what I signed up for.
Yep. So he's like, oh, I'm going to try to save the kids.
And he's obviously a brilliant tactician because his plan when there's a sniper right in front of us is everyone just run forward, but not everyone, but one guy, I'm going to pick you to just run forward. And if you zigzag, there's no way he can hit you.
Well, because the dude's a bad shot. He figured that out earlier.
Right, because he can shoot a mirror out of my hand that I put out for 1 second. Obviously, a mirror the size of like a car mirror. Obviously, a horrific shot. If I can go boop and he immediately shoots. Well, he shoots twice. He's like, oh, he shot twice. It means he's panicking, even though he still got it in a second. He'll never hit a full human running zigzag.
So they do it, and it's okay.
Well, the little kid does it because he's super fast.
Yeah, the little kid is so good.
I mean, he is a smaller target.
Super brave. And
to be fair,
then Jeremy Renner, he tries to push a car and he gets caught on fire and he dies.
Yeah, what is that stuff? Did they say? I forget.
It's gas.
Okay.
Like some sort of gas that'll kill you.
It's not like white phosphorus, is it? It might be. I don't know.
I don't know. Something that kills you for sure.
It was white, so I just imagined that it was good old Willie Pete.
Willie Pete, my faves.
Yeah. Then they go to the subway because, it's a good idea.
I mean, everyone loves to eat fresh, so.
I wish they went to Subway. But they go down in the dark where only one of them has night vision. So the one person has to guide everybody to where they're going.
I thought this scene was pretty all right.
I thought it was an interesting scene, the idea of it, but just how they did it was dumb. Like, I don't know.
I kind of liked it.
I can't agree when they fall down the steps and the kids just decide to be silent for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, that was they just fall down the stairs. And then they're like gone.
They're like disappeared. Where did you go? And they also don't make any noise.
Yeah.
When she's screaming like, "Where are you?"
Yeah.
Damn it, Andy. And they're like, I think I'll just wait until she calms down to reply.
I don't like your tone right now.
Right. And of course, because of her screaming, then the zombie comes, and of course it's the dad, because the dad somehow tracked him down all the way there.
He knows. And he kills the girl.
The scientist woman.
And then the two kids like try to make it out, and they make it to where Jeremy Renner said.
Well, remember the dad bites the boy, and the daughter kills the dad too.
Yep.
Very sad scene.
And then the daughter's like,
really.
"Oh man, this sucks," and she doesn't even think for a second that it's all her fault.
Yeah, there's no point in this movie where they're like, "Wow,
we shouldn't have went to the house.
We should have went to the Aeropostale next door." There's an Old Navy down the street. We could have just went there.
Literally. And then they make it. Yay.
They make it. They're her brother, and a pilot at the last.
Jeremy Renner's friend, pilot.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner's friend, and they save the day. Also, the kid is now a carrier because he got bitten. Right. So he also has it. So if he, sneezes, everybody's dead.
Literally.
On the plane. Like if he would have sneezed on the plane, all three of them would die. There's also a scene in this movie where the pilot does show up on his.
That was kind of cool.
Killing all the zombies with his
all of them
helicopter blades. I was actually really into it.
Yeah, that was cool.
But it also felt a little out of place in the movie. I was like, really?
Yeah, it was really like bizarre.
Yeah,
but like whatever.
It was still. If it was in something else, I probably would have been all about it. 28 weeks later.
What a failure.
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be rooting for the kids. But I don't want to be.
I'm rooting for them to die.
I'm rooting for the zombies,
Mm-hmm.
Which is I don't know how often you can say that. You can say it at least one other time, I think. But maybe we'll get to that later. Because right now we have another interesting film to talk about, which has, I think, more pros than 28 Weeks Later, personally.
For sure.
But we're going to be talking about 2006's Slither.
Written and directed by James Gunn.
Yeah.
Who did Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Guardians of the Galaxy as well. And you see some familiar faces in it.
Like Yondu
or Merle. You were going to say Merle, huh?
I thought, okay, tell me if you thought this too.
Okay.
The second I saw him in this movie, he looks exactly like Walter White. Exactly.
Yeah. He definitely looks I was also going to say that he looks exactly the same age, like his whole life.
Oh, yes, that too.
That too. But no, I got the Walter White vibes immediately.
He looks just like him.
It's pretty crazy. He would definitely be a good double, you know? Slither's about a dude and his wife. Well, it's really about the wife and the sheriff, I guess, mostly.
Yeah.
There is a outbreak, but it's not a zombie outbreak specifically. It is a little worm from space, a little parasite that injects itself into people, or injects itself into Merle. What's the actor's name? I feel so bad.
His name is Grant. Oh, the actor?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking of the character.
Yeah, no.
Can
you look it up? Yeah. Because he's a great actor. I actually like him in this because he's very threatening in a way. He gets parasited up by this little alien worm. It goes into his chest. It burrows in. It's really gross. And it takes over his body.
This movie's really gross.
And
Michael Rooker,
yes. He kind of becomes this mix of... He's got part alien, mostly alien feelings, but there's a little bit of him, the human, left in there. You know, he's still left because he still responds to Grant and everything, you know? And I think he kind of falls in love with his human wife a little bit. But basically his instincts take over and he's like, I have to propagate. I have to feed. I have to get I have to feed and I have to make my babies and we have to take over the planet. But he loves his wife too much, so he gets some other chick and he babies her up real big. They go to a barn and she's all Willy Wonka. Yeah, she is. She's Willy Wonka, like Violet. She's like the size of one semi-truck, if we're still going with that.
Right.
She's real big. She's very angry about being full of little slug babies.
Who wouldn't? And
basically, they know stuff's messed up. They go to get the guy down because he's been like killing cats and stuff for food. They got him cornered, and he's been like mutating because he's turning into this alien life form. He turns into like if you played Fallout, like a centaur. It's literally exactly like that, like centaurs from Fallout. And he's pretty powerful. He's got these tentacles that can slice people in half.
Yeah, that was
like
funny.
Nothing. But we get to the barn scene. She blows up from the pregnancy.
Yeah.
Literally blows up. Slugs go everywhere, and they go look for people to inhabit.
So gross.
Luckily, they have to go in through your mouth. That's the deal. That's the only opening big... Well, we assume that's the only opening big enough for them to get in and take you over. As far as I know, they kill the host and kind of take over their whole body. So if you remove the parasite, you kill the person, you know. So they're, for all intents and purposes,
just
dead.
like Falling Skies.
Yeah, they're basically dead already. Well, Falling Skies, they work around it a little bit, but they don't work around it in this movie.
No.
They're done. A part of this film that I actually like, and it's also the poster usually, is like the tub scene where you have the young woman sitting in the tub.
Yeah, and it goes in. It's like
a bunch go in. You know, it's reminiscent of like Nightmare on Elm Street with the claw and everything. And she's almost getting possessed.
Oh,
whatever you want to call it.
I was like gagging.
So gross. Reminds me of Raw. If you ever saw that,
I watched half of that movie.
Did you get to the part where she was pulling?
No.
Okay. Well, it's like that. She's pulling this slug out of her mouth, and she's almost getting taken over because she gets the memories of this creepy alien killing. Like, she comes out like she's an elder god. It's like, he's killed millions of planets and everything. She's got all this information.
Yeah.
But she's still a teenage girl. It's funny. She rips it out. There's blood everywhere. Her whole family's infected. And they come out. They still have their brains. Like we said, they can still talk. You know, they're like, get out here, you bitch. It's like, don't you love your mama? And stuff like that. And they really are going for her. Get saved by the sheriff and everybody. Another funny part is they got a grenade. It's like, I know what we'll do. We're going to blow him up.
Oh, yeah.
Blow his ass to hell. He gets there. He pulls back the grenade. Just slaps it out of his hand into the pool. And he just kind of looks at it. He's like, man.
It's really funny.
He could have got it. I don't know if this is reference to, but if you've ever seen Society, the end of this movie is like the end of Society because there's just a lot of flesh everywhere. He's a big old monster, you know?
He's so gross.
And eventually, they do blow him up still with like a propane tank. They trick him.
They blow him up real good.
They blow him up really good because that's like the only way at this point. They blow him up with a propane tank. bits go everywhere. Since he's the original and all the ones that were his babies, they're all kind of a hive mind. So when he goes down, everybody else goes down, and you've just got piles of bodies everywhere. And they go home and they save the day. It's all good.
Great job, Elizabeth Banks.
And Nathan Fillion. Great job.
Great. Proud of them. And then they probably get married.
Yeah, they probably get married. Probably. This movie is a comedy. It is a comedy movie. It's comedy, like horror.
Comedy horror.
Don't know if a lot of the comedy hit for me.
I didn't find it. I found this movie mostly very repulsive.
Right. It was a lot of like the gross out effects and everything like that. There was one character I hated. I think he was the mayor. I really didn't like his character. He was too whiny and annoying.
I could feel that.
But I felt like I like Elizabeth Banks a lot.
Yeah, she's great.
I thought she was great. Actually, I think the funniest part of this movie to me was when I think it was two people rolled up who maybe weren't exactly privy to everything that was going on, and she had like a piece of rebar and was just absolutely murdering someone and screaming at the top of her lungs. So at the beginning of the scene, it's her perspective, and it's very intense because she's like murdering this dude, and then two people roll up, and you just see her going, and just absolutely stabbing this dude, and they're like, "What the hell is going on?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I did think that was funny, and Nathan Fillion doing a good job, you know, being a very likable kind of guy, hometown boy, you might say.
The hometown boy.
Hometown boy
At the hoedown.
At the hoedown.
What do they call the deer thing?
Yeah. What was it? I don't know.
Nah, deer something.
Deer
Day.
Deer Day.
I don't know.
Celebration. Also, was funny. Jenna Fisher showed up for a second. I thought that was cool.
A little cameo for her.
Yeah. From Pam.
Yeah.
Pam
well,
boy.
was she Pam at that point in 2006? Was Office 2005?
I think it was.
Well, yeah, she was already Pam.
Maybe. I don't know. But this movie...
It's funny because she's like a receptionist, too.
She is a receptionist, isn't she? That is funny. If you're into that, I would say not if you're into it, but if you're not like repulsed by the gross out flesh, blood, slugs kind of deal, you'll probably find a bit to like in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look too much into the logic of it. You'll ruin it for
it's
yourself.
just like whatever. It's just a fun.
Yeah, it's just fun. It's
thing.
obviously being played for goofs a lot of the time, like with the huge Chekhov's gun of the grenade being totally blown out the window, literally. You know, stuff like that.
Out the window.
I think there's a lot to like.
Yeah, I agree. Other than me like gagging half the time, I've enjoyed it.
Right. I mean, her exploding with the slugs and everything before that, very gross.
Yeah, it's not good.
I did wonder if part of it was almost like a STD, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay. Like that, and then like, I don't know. Again, I wasn't thinking too hard when I was watching this movie, so it was mostly stuff afterwards. I don't think it's that deep.
No,
I don't think it's
definitely
that deep at
not.
all.
Just for fun.
We can talk about something that's maybe a little deeper.
Yeah.
Our seventh thing on the list.
Our seventh movie is World War Z. Super mega action blockbuster. Brad Pitt, hella money, like super big budget, box office success.
Also,
Everybody's seen it.
Super successful 2019 video game.
Exactly. I didn't even know there was a game.
They made like a Left 4 Dead clone that they called World War Z.
Nice.
In 2019.
And I ride for this movie, to be honest.
I ride for the first half of this movie super hard. Second half, still good.
I agree the second half is worse.
Yeah.
But I think the depiction in this movie of like the first 24 hours of like a world outbreak like this is like the best of like all of them. I think it does a great job at like capturing just how like chaotic everything is.
Yeah.
Especially when like
especially because a lot of things gloss over it almost. There's a lot of things where you'll watch it and then they'll skip ahead, be like 1 month later.
Yeah,
but
this just like really goes for it. And when they get to like the grocery store and like everyone's like running around. My
favorite part.
And they like get back there and the dude, they're like trying to get like the pills for her daughter that has like asthma or whatever. Yeah. That whole scene is like really cool. And luckily Brad Pitt is like
super hot,
ex-army and super hot. So he gets the one-way ticket to the boat.
Yeah.
So good for him. And then he goes on by himself and he goes to try to beat all the zombies.
Yeah, he just fist fights them all.
Yep. So what, you think the movie starts turning after the Jerusalem scene or before?
I think the Jerusalem scene is like, I don't know, maybe it sets up my expectations too high.
I love
something.
the Jerusalem part is like awesome.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like maybe it hypes me up so much that when I watch the rest of the movie, I'm like, oh, it didn't quite live up to what I already saw.
It's definitely like that because like the finale of the movie is like very not like
Yeah.
a bit. It's like very slow. It's like a stealth thing, and then it just kind of ends.
Yeah.
But like in the middle of the movie, they have this like humongous giant.
It was the
action
trailers
set
at the
piece
whole
where
time.
The zombies are freaking crawling up each other, making a giant bridge over the wall, and
Yeah.
it's crazy. And yeah, then it just like really cools down, and he's like, "If I give myself cancer, the zombies won't hurt me."
Yeah. I think that is why, is because it doesn't live up to that huge hit that it gives you. You're like, and it's like, oh, I didn't really get to see where that went exactly, which I guess is a little disappointing. Still great. I still think it's a good zombie flick. I mean, there's a lot of zombie movies. There's even more bad zombie movies, that are just rubbish. Yeah, So this one is definitely high up there. If this was a list,
I know
best
a lot
ones.
of people like don't like this movie, and I'm just like, what? Why?
I almost feel it's like a Brad Pitt thing.
I'm very pro Brad Pitt.
Yeah, Brad Pitt's. I mean, I don't know the guy personally, but acting wise, I like him.
Yeah, I'm very pro Billy Bean.
Yep, it's the same character.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Hold on, tangent for a second.
Sure.
This is like baseball news, but it relates to Moneyball
Okay.
and Brad Pitt, who we're talking about right now.
We are, yeah.
Brad Pitt plays Billy Bean in Moneyball. At the end of Moneyball, Billy Bean turns down the Boston Red Sox, right? Like literally this happened like last week. Billy Bean like signed with the Boston Red Sox
wow.
and he's in like their front office now.
Moneyball 2.
Like
Let's go.
Isn't that crazy? I just heard that somewhere.
Moneyball 2. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I just wanted to
Very looking forward to
out.
it.
But World War Z, the idea of like the infected people don't like want to eat like other infected people. I think it's really interesting, but it's also like, well, like, what do they do? You know what I mean? Like, what do they do with that?
Yeah.
I wish they made like a second one where they like explore like how, because he injects himself with like an extremely deadly disease that would like kill him in like a few hours. And then like, but they have like the antidote or whatever when he gets back.
Yeah.
But it's just like, they're like, oh, we could equip the army with, like these things so they can just, be invisible and go kill all the zombies. I just wonder what like they would infect them with, like, or it's like, is there like a degree to like if like, you just give them like a cold,
Yeah,
the zombie's
totally
gonna be like,
fine.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
or do you have to give them like stage 4 colon cancer?
You know what? You just reminded me of something about 28 Days Later.
Oh, great.
That the rage virus was based off of a real virus. It was based off of, I think, in like the comics or something, because I was reading trivia for it. They used a strain of Ebola to create the rage virus in the movie.
Great. We love Ebola.
Thank you, Ebola. I miss Ebola, honestly. I would take Ebola back. Ebola, please. I'm so sorry that I kicked you out.
Ebola, we're sorry.
This is like a really personal story, but we went to school together. And do you remember when there was the Ebola
Day
outbreak
was
at our
great.
school?
What a great moment.
What a great time that there was an outbreak at our school. And we all got the day off. One day. Just clears all the Ebola out. Just,
all the Ebola said, you know what? Fine, guys. That's all right.
you don't want me here? I'll go.
I'm out.
Then he called his big sister.
COVID.
It's not a bad name for a girl.
COVID.
Yeah.
You think people are going to start naming their babies COVID?
COVID Smith. Come on, that's nice. That's cute. I like that.
What's like the nickname for him? Covey.
I don't know. It could be Corona.
I don't know.
Who's a great singer. Are we ready to move on?
I think so.
I think so.
3 more.
Thank you, Brad Pitt. 3 more. We have Day of the Dead, 1985. Finally, some real Romero. Some real Romero. With the most disliked film that he's made in the Dead saga, I think.
In like his like newest one.
Oh,
before
maybe.
He died, like the one that people don't like.
Possibly, but this trilogy, at least people didn't like this one very much.
Right.
And I get it. We talked about how in 28 Weeks Later, you're kind of rooting for the infected to win. I totally feel that for Day of the Dead.
For sure.
You,
Especially our man.
who, if you follow us on Twitter, you've already seen, he's listening to our podcast.
Yup.
Bub,
the homie.
Bub is so cool. I'm crazy about Bub.
He's great.
But that's not the only reason I like the movie. Don't put that on me. He's still cool. If you don't like Bub, you're stupid.
Yeah,
He would
seriously.
shoot you with a gun. If
Yeah,
he saw
he's
you.
gonna cap you.
Anyway, this movie is about a team of scientists and soldiers stuck underground in a bunker, and they're like the last ones left as far as they know. Like they're trying to connect with people like through radio. Nobody's coming through, and the scientists are trying to work on like, well, really, they're working on something.
Yeah.
The soldiers and even the other scientists, more people, aren't really sure exactly what Frankenstein's doing over there. I'm calling this Frankenstein because I don't remember his real name, but they call him Frankenstein. So there's a lot of pressure between these two groups. The soldiers are fed up because they are capturing zombies for this guy's experiments, and they're losing soldiers doing it because it's obviously very dangerous to mess with all these zombies. And then the scientists don't really have a lot to show for what they're doing. But what they do have to show is Bub. Bub is their breakout project. Frankenstein's very proud of Bub. And Bub is some dude who died. He turned. And he's got him chained up. And he's very docile. He's a very docile zombie. He doesn't bite at you.
He's chilling.
He's super chill. He's listening to music. He's reading books. Okay, well, he's not actually reading them, but he's trying his best.
We love him.
He knows what a book is, you know. And he'll listen to music, and he likes listening to music. And they're basically, what the doctor's thinking is trying to train this zombie back to his, like, human states and just seeing where it goes. The soldiers have a point. What does this research do?
Right. Exactly.
You know, the research really doesn't seem to be doing anything. He's got stuff on the side, which seems like it was more appropriate. But Bub, really what's going on with him, you know, does he want to turn them into pets? Like, how do you do this on a grand scale? This takes a very long time. Maybe there was a point. Maybe there wasn't. We don't know because that guy bites a bullet.
He
or
gets
seven
it from the man.
He gets it. And that doesn't make Bub very happy. So
Bub gets
says,
upset.
You know what? I'm gonna grab my 9 and I'm gonna take care of business right now.
He's getting the 9 milli.
He's been learning how to use human stuff. He picks up a gun. He was in the army, by the way, in his lifetime. He picks up his gun and he goes after him. He's like, I'm gonna kill them all. And with the help of some friends, you know, he's successful in his mission and he takes care of the bad guy.
Good for Bub.
But who is the bad guy? Is it everyone? Are most everybody in this movie not a good person? Like, the woman maybe is fine. You know, the main lady.
The Jamaican guy's all right.
Jamaican guy's all right, too. I mean, he's a little nihilistic at first. You know, he's like, oh, I'm not going to really try to help too much because what's the point?
Yeah.
But he makes up for it by the end. Yeah, and most characters in this film, just bad people. Just bad people, and I want to say that was the point. If you don't like it, that's fair, but I want to say that you aren't supposed to like the people in this movie. I think you're supposed to like Bub the most.
Bub.
It's using that as a sort of like a, you know, maybe some sort of criticism on human relation and everything like that, you know?
Literally.
I don't know. The visuals are great.
The makeup stuff this is like my favorite. The stuff they do with the makeup is so
Very,
cool.
very cool. Right at the opening, you have that dream sequence of all the hands coming through.
Yeah.
Very cool. Another shot I like is right when the dude's about to get eaten by the horde and, you know, torn in half. Yeah. All the hands come out and kind of like, I mean, they kind of like jazz hand a little bit because they're like grabbing. His face is right center of the screen and he's screaming as loud as he can. You know?
It's really cool.
Very cool visual things going on with this film.
I don't even know how they like a lot of stuff. I'm just like, how they do it?
I know it really is like
the what is it? Like the title sequence with like the zombie is like half his face is like gone and his tongue is like hanging out the side. I'm just like, what?
Right, exactly. And I think this is another film that took use of actual amputees, you know, and stuff like that to like, you know, bring the effect. The effects are phenomenal, especially for the time.
They're super crazy awesome.
Killer effects. Maybe the second best part of the film is just the effects.
Yeah, people getting like their faces ripped in half and like body parts ripped off, and it just looks gnarly.
Right. So even with those two things, just the effects and Bub being the most likable character in the movie, if that doesn't just intrigue you at all.
Love Bub.
He's great. I love Bub. But
He's fantastic.
Day of the Dead, check it out. We got 2 movies left, and they're both interesting.
Very, very interesting.
Very interesting. So let's go with
I'm
the
excited
one
for this one.
from 2017, which is also pushing it a little bit, but not really.
Yeah. It is about zombies.
It is about zombies. What is it?
It is a movie called One Cut of the Dead.
Yeah. Now streaming on Shudder.
Is that where you watched it?
Yeah.
You watched
Where'd
it
you
on
watch
Shudder? I rented it.
Oh, okay. It is on Shudder. It's a Shudder original, I think.
Oh.
Yeah,
didn't
I know.
How about that?
Shudder's
doing it.
It's got some good stuff, man.
I loved this
Cut of
movie.
the Dead is so good.
You loved it too?
I
I
loved
was really
it.
hoping you'd like it.
I definitely think this is a movie made for people who at least have some interest in making movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because especially people who have experience in live shows and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
there are moments where I was like, I know that stress.
Yeah,
you know,
literally.
you're like, oh, I remember this feeling, you know? The whole conceit of the film is it starts out with a 36
It's long.
36-minute one take of the dead. It's
Zombie movie.
It's a 36-minute like short film of these people trying to make a movie,
But then real zombies
but
attack
then real
them.
zombies attack while they're making a fake zombie movie, and it's that 36 minutes.
You're like,
So you
"Oh."
watch the short film and it ends and the credits roll,
And you're like, oh.
and you're like, what? There's still an hour left in this movie,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes 1 month earlier, you know, and you go back to where his producers are like, hey, we have a crazy idea, one take zombie film where they get attacked by
Live on
zombies.
TV. It's live.
Right,
Very
live.
important.
It's also live. And the rest of the movie is you seeing them plan it, and then the last 36 minutes actually pulling it off. You see back another layer.
Yeah,
Of
it's so
the actual
it's so
crew
crazy.
like sneaking around camera shots, and you know when stuff goes wrong, like
Everything
goes wrong,
goes wrong.
improvising lines and everything, and they had to replace like actors like on a whim and stuff. Very fun movie.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anything like this.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know,
it's really cool because in like the first half, you're like, oh, this is kind of just like a weird, like shitty, like B movie
exactly.
that you'd see on like the Sci-Fi Channel.
The main thing that was keeping me in the first 36 minutes was the one
It's
take.
just it's all one take.
So I was like, okay, this is interesting. I see what they're doing here.
Mhm. But then when you get to the third act and you see everything, you just get such an appreciation.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, everything I just saw in the first half was like almost completely improvised by these people who were working super hard to try to get this
Right.
to happen.
Yeah.
And it just is like, I mean, it's just kind of like a love letter to like cinema.
Mm-hmm. Filmmaking.
Yeah, filmmaking. You're just like, you gain such an appreciation for the first part of the movie, even if you didn't like it like the first time.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, because they even point because the main thing that I point to, because it's very obvious, is there are literal mistakes in the first 36 minutes. Mistakes in the script. It's not an actual mistake, right?
Mm.
But like, at one point, a shot lingers for like a very long time, and watching it, I was like, this shot's going on for a very long time. And then you get to the end,
And you figure out
and the
why.
person you figure out why, and the person in the control room is like, this shot's going on for a really long time. You know, it's fun to see stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they know, you know, what's going on.
Mm.
So just a lot of energy to this film as everybody's rushing. It's live. You got to go.
Super awesome.
Haven't again, super unique. You know,
Yeah, I've never seen a movie like this before.
I don't know what that is, and surprisingly touching with the like father-daughter relationship by the end,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the match with like the photo. I was actually, that's really sweet by the end. You know, they pull it off though. There's also kind of the subplot of finding the division between filmmaking as work and filmmaking as art.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause, you know, he was kind of selling himself as like, oh, I'm cheap and fast, but I'm average. You know what? And by the end of the film, there's this one shot that he really wants. It's like, this is the one that was the whole basis of the idea, was this one shot, and their crane breaks, and they're like, oh, we can't do it. We can't do the shot. Just cut it.
Yeah.
And his producer's like, no, just cut it. Like, whatever. And, you know, he really doesn't want to because it's his art. That's the part that he doesn't want to sacrifice for this product, you know? And he's trying to find the balance too throughout the whole movie. And I thought that was an interesting angle to go with it, because that's a really real struggle that, you know, filmmakers can have. You know, when do you concede on certain things, and when do you say no, this
And when
has
you
to
build a
happen?
giant pyramid out of people to hold a camera high up in
Right,
the sky.
exactly. Just like, it was like 3 on the bottom, 2, 1, and 1.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
okay,
like that.
and they get all the way up, and it's. I mean, I actually like the shot. It was nice. I was like, that's cool.
It's nice.
Yeah. Super unique. I promise you haven't seen a movie like this.
Yeah, this movie's awesome.
Very, very cool. Budget of $25,000.
Yeah, this is the crazy part.
How much did it make?
I forget what you said. It was like
$25 million.
25 million. You could say he added a few zeros.
Yeah, and pretty good job, guys.
Good for Shinichiro Ueda.
Very
Ooh,
well done.
I make another movie, please.
And then at the end of the movie, you get the behind the scenes of the actual movie as well.
Yeah,
which is very
Again.
fun. Again, so it's a third layer to the whole thing. Very, very fun. I heard that on the second take that they did of the 36-minute long scene, they got it perfect, but one of the cameras was off.
No. Oh. That's tough.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. Like, the camera had some malfunction, and they played it back, and it was, like, broken. They're like, well, we got to do it again. Whoops. And they had to do it, like, a couple more times.
That's tough.
36-minute long scene and get nothing wrong. Yep.
Yeah.
Things will go wrong.
Yeah. One Cut of the Dead. If you want a newfound appreciation of the art of filmmaking,
Yeah.
watch this.
Watch it.
Super awesome.
Super cool.
Last one.
Which is different. It's a little different from all the ones we've talked about so far.
A little.
It's very different, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say it's very different. That was bad. But I couldn't do any better.
I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. Rick and Rustin are going to talk about Ruby Roo. He doesn't do it that bad.
Raggy. On Zombie Island.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island from 1998. Which is... was this the first time watching it for you?
I feel, when I was watching it, I was like, I feel like I saw this when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But I didn't remember any of it.
Right, yeah. I've always loved this film. And I think it is an important movie. And maybe I'll get into that a little bit why later on. But basically, Scooby and the gang...
They're broken up.
They're broken up. They've kind of got their own lives, you know? Scooby and Shaggy work at an airport. Daphne's like a TV host. Velma... What's Velma do?
She works at the library.
The bookstore,
she
whatever
sells
library.
mystery books.
Right. And Fred...
He's with Velma.
With Daphne.
Sorry.
Yeah. Ooh. Maybe he is with Velma.
Fred sleeping around.
Maybe. Daphne and Velma. Look out. Sheesh. And they get back together and it's like, guys, one final score to bring it all back. Let's get the gang together and do this one last mystery. It feels almost Blair Witchy, I think.
Yeah.
To me.
Because Daphne wants to get like a real ghost on camera rather than like all this like...
That's the scoop.
Stuff.
She's like, we need a real one. And obviously everyone's super... They're like, okay, it's never been a real ghost. It's never been real except for Scooby-Doo and the 13 Ghosts, but that's non-canon, I guess.
Oh.
Anyway, they go to this like lagoon, marsh, zombie island.
Zombie Island.
It's very marshy. And they're like, yeah, this place is super haunted. There's zombies everywhere, and they suck. And guess what? There's zombies everywhere.
And they suck.
Or do they? Because get this. Zombies, total bros. Bitches, cat witches.
Mm-hmm. Zombie pirates take care of the evil Nazis.
Yeah.
They're Nazis, right?
I don't know. I don't remember that. I didn't rewatch it for this.
Pretty sure they're like either Nazis or like racist in some form.
They might be like race purists, but
there's something about them being like racist
bloodline
somehow.
Might be bloodline, like cat bloodline. Like my cat bloodline is so
no,
pure.
it's like actual racism.
Oh, it is actual.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, they got voodoo magic, which is part of the zombie. These are voodoo zombies, which I think is the original zombies, like magic, specifically voodoo.
Oh.
So they've got, the dolls. They obviously turn into werecats. It's cats at midnight, or not midnight, but with full moon and everything. It's the whole deal.
Yeah.
And so the big deal with this movie for a lot of people is that, no, the monster's totally real. There's no one behind a mask. They think it's someone in a mask, and they end up ripping his head off.
Yeah, that was funny.
Because they're like, oh, God, this is a zombie. And I love it for that. I know a lot of people, I guess parents, had a tough time having their kids watch this because at the end they could always be like, oh, the monsters aren't real. So when Scooby-Doo comes in and is like, listen, nope, these are real and they'll kill you. Maybe some kids took that a little hard. But I think this is an important stepping stone for children. Because think about children's horror movies and then actual horror movies. Kind of a big jump for someone to make.
Right.
You know? So I think having this middle ground where you can take something super safe like Scooby-Doo and add a little bit of the terror to it, because it is terror time tonight.
Great song. This
amazing song.
Incredible.
Fantastic
song.
Add it to your playlists.
It's terror time again. It is incredible.
If you have a Halloween playlist, which I know you do because everybody should and does, add it to your playlist.
I've literally been jamming it for the past like week.
Yeah.
I guarantee it will be on my Spotify Wrapped later
It's
in the
so
year.
good.
I guarantee it. It'll
So
be my top
good.
5. It is really a banger.
And there's more music like it in the film, and they're all great, but that is definitely the standout to the whole film. And of course, you got your like montages with it and everything. Very well done. You got a lot of rats in this movie, like we said. A lot of rats everywhere. You know, brown rats, red rats, black rats. You know what they say, if a black rat crosses your path,
You got to step on it.
that's bad luck, I think, for a couple years. But yeah, like I said, it's the stepping stone, taking something really comfortable like Scooby-Doo and adding a little bit more terror for it. At least for me as a kid, I remember kind of making me more interested in scarier horror, you know, looking out scarier films. And on my journey down that path, if it's given kids nightmares, well, that sucks. I feel bad for those kids, but also, fuck you, kid. I love Scooby-Doo.
There's a hilarious joke
Yeah.
in this movie that like
Where they're
actually
looking
had me
down her
laughing
skirt,
really hard.
looking up her
No.
skirt. She's like, stop looking. Doesn't that happen?
I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Because I remember this part specifically. Scooby and Shaggy are being chased by this like boar,
Oh,
and they fall into this pit. And Shaggy's like, geez, Scoob, we almost just got killed by 1/3 of a BLT.
yeah.
And I don't know why, I just thought it was so funny.
That's
I was
pretty
like
funny.
dying. That
I
was great.
think another thing this movie did was give me my love for spicy food.
Oh,
The food in this movie is great.
Oh, it looks so
They
phenomenal.
got huge sandwiches. At the beginning, they have like cheese wheels and everything. I love food and animation.
It's great. It always looks great.
Ghibli, step your game up because Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island has some tasty looking food.
Yes.
The only thing better is the Wallace and Gromit cheese and crackers. That stuff's good looking as well.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island. If you've got a brave little kiddo or relative, you know, maybe push them towards that direction.
Great Scooby-Doo movie. And actually, I think it's the highest rated Scooby-Doo movie.
It might be, yeah. I have it at like a 9 or something.
But it's not my favorite Scooby-Doo movie. I will regret to inform everybody.
Is it? Let me list a
Want
few.
to know what my favorite is?
Well, let me list a few.
Yes.
Is it the one with John Cena?
No.
Okay, that's a new one. There's the ones I can think about that I feel like people like the most are Witch's Curse, the one with the Space Invaders. I think it's literally called like Space Invaders, and then Cyber Chase.
Oh.
Okay.
Mine's
Because
none
I
of
think those are all three done by the same dude who did this one.
My favorite Scooby-Doo movie is Scooby-Doo
Oh, James Gunn?
and the Monster of Mexico.
Oh.
You remember that one?
No. Is that the one where Shaggy unleashes all of his power?
He goes 5% in that
Oh,
one, and it's
gotcha.
utter devastation.
Wow.
No.
I don't think I've
Watch
seen
Monster
this one.
of Mexico.
Okay.
The Chupacabra.
That sounds familiar. I thought you were going to say Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed.
Okay, well, yeah, I was strictly talking animation, but
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
the Scooby-Doo live actions are awesome.
They're good.
They are.
They are.
They're awesome. I love them.
The performances by all the actors are also super top notch. They really nail the characters, I think.
Yeah, good casting and everything. It's
Yeah.
it's good. I haven't seen Scoob, the new little animated
I
cute
haven't
one.
either. No.
I wonder if that's any good.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's probably a hard maybe.
Hard maybe. But that does it, actually.
We did all our zombie movies.
Movies. That's what zombies sound make.
Yeah, that is the sound that's the zombies make.
So we can move on to our next segment. Very good segment. Yours is long, you told
Not
me.
really.
Longer than mine, because mine is one sentence. So why don't we read yours first?
All right. 1 out of 10.
Okay. Gotcha.
A very special movie. I really, truly support this movie. The sheer inclusiveness of this ensemble effort, one can only hope there's going to be more funding for causes like this. As a humanitarian, I certainly support Special Olympics and applaud similar encouragements within the movie industry. Bravo, say I.
Oh my gosh. I mean, the one I hope it's for is 28 Weeks Later. No. Then my only second guess would be Dawn of the Dead.
Mm-mm.
Okay, what is it
It's
then?
one cut of the dead.
What? What does that mean?
I know.
That doesn't make any sense.
I know. That's why it's great.
That one actually makes me mad. Okay, well, mine, you know which one it is for because it spoils it in the title.
Okay.
And it's just the title because it's really long, but I'm just going to read the title. 1 out of 10.
Uno.
George Romero is the Antichrist. Oh, and that's the reviews of the week.
Oh, that's good.
2 winners this week, I think. Very well done, guys. Thank you.
That was good.
Very well done. So that leaves us with our emails.
Emails.
Singular today.
You got one email.
Sup, Justin and Nick. You might have answered this already during the show, but what is your favorite kind of zombie?
We didn't answer that.
Do you prefer the slow-moving but relentless ones from Shaun of the Dead, hyperactive crazy ones like from World War Z or Zombieland, or superpowered ones from Left 4 Dead and Resident Evil, or any others you can think of? Happy Halloween. Thank you. Happy Halloween to you as well. Favorite type of zombie. So favorite, not what's the scariest, not what's the coolest, but like actually your favorite depiction of zombies.
I would say my favorite would have to be like superpowered ones, probably.
I kind of have to agree.
Then there's more like direction they can go with, like how you deal with them.
Yeah. So you see stuff like that in like Left 4 Dead, Dead Island, has stuff like
Mostly
that.
video games.
Mostly video games is where you get it. But you know what piece of media does do that? That's not a video game. Z Nation.
Oh,
Z
here's the Z Nation plug. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was waiting for the whole time. Z Nation Cars is so good. It is a definitely more comedy type of zombie survival show. Seasons 2 and 3 are like peak TV. Best TV I've ever seen in my life. 1, 4, and 5, not as great, but it still has a very good ending. It ended season 5. Season 5 was weak, I would say, but very good ending that leaves stuff open, but it's an open ending, but you see where it's going to go. It's like stuff you don't need to show, you know? And it's like a happier ending, kind of, which is surprising for this type of media. Very funny show. They introduced like kind of new types of zombies going on. At first, it's just your normal zombie. They're fast. Episode 1, baby zombie. It's running at you on 2 legs, just born out of the womb. Comes out of the womb sprinting towards you. Okay,
Nice.
Comes to get you. So they have a lot of fast. They have slow ones too. The rules are very unclear. They're very not well defined.
I love it.
But a thing that show does is there's a character who has immunity, and the whole thing is they're trying to get this immune character to the science lab on the other side of the country so they can make a vaccine. Guy's a bit of an asshole. He's actually a huge dick. That's the whole point of the show. He's such a dick. They all want to kill him. They're like, I fucking hate Murphy. He's so stupid. And the guy's like, you can't fucking kill me. I'm the savior of humanity. What are you going to do? Shoot the savior of humanity? And they're like, I guess not. So, you know, they might tie him up and, you know, gag him sometimes so he can't talk. But they need him, right?
Right.
And he's immune because they did, like, awful testing on him and stuff. So he's a little bit angry about it. So, you know, maybe he doesn't want to save humanity.
Right.
He figures out that zombies don't want to bite him. You know, they don't care. He's technically infected, like you said, you know. But he's just, like, immune, so they don't care about him. Eventually, he can mind control them.
Wow.
And he can tell them to do stuff. So he'll be like, hey, there's someone back there. Go get him. They'll be like, ugh. Go get him. He can bite people, and they'll turn into what they call blends, where they... Basically, he just mind controls them, is basically how it goes.
Dang,
also, I
Murphy's
think
OP.
they have some some resiliences that humans wouldn't have. But, you know, if he bites you, you basically turn into his thrall and you'll be under his mind control. And then eventually they have weed zombies that are super high. Then they have like radioactive zombies that are like even faster. They have like superhuman strength. They can jump super high. They'll get you. And also shooting in the head doesn't kill them.
Great.
So they're unstoppable. You have to like reduce them down to nothing to take care of them. There's a lot of stuff like that. There's one that's just like 50 of them in a ball and they just roll around.
That sounds amazing.
There's a lot of cool stuff in it. I think because it was a TV show, and unlike The Walking Dead, where they've been the same the whole time, they introduced these like new kinds of zombies. Really helped the show, you know, bring new stuff into it. So superpowered or just extra ability zombies are definitely very interesting, and I wish more things would go into it. But I guess it's too goofy or something for a lot of people.
Yeah, I guess that would probably be the explanation.
I think honestly, what The Last of Us does could have worked in like a film.
For sure, because it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
And then makeup people could have a lot of fun with the way they
Exactly.
look
Well,
with the
HBO
fungus and
show,
stuff.
we'll see.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
I totally forgot that was
Right.
happening.
If I do have to give a single world though, it probably would be The Last of Us.
Yeah, because they got different kinds.
Mm-hmm. And it's like very grounded in a cordyceps mushroom people. Very interesting. They have the thing with light where light doesn't even register with them, you know? Very cool.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Clickers and their noise, that little they noise. Yeah. Very scary.
A little follow-up question.
Okay.
Which kind of like okay, would you be able to survive in World War Z? If World War Z started right now,
No.
are you living?
No.
I think I would have to. World War Z is like game over.
The only ones I would live in are like Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, the slow ones.
The slow ones. So yeah, no, I don't think there's... Zombieland's like kind of right in between, where they're still a lot faster, but they're dumb still. They're still really dumb, you know, so maybe Zombieland at best. We can talk about Can we talk about Zombieland 2 for just like 1 second?
Yeah.
People shit on Zombieland 2. Zombieland 2 is great.
Yes.
Okay, it's not as good as the first one. It doesn't have the heart, but it's still got the laughs.
Yes.
You know, I still enjoyed it a lot. I just want to put that out there, okay?
And if you didn't stay for the after credit scene,
You're missing out.
you are missing out on like the best after credit scene ever.
It's up there, definitely. It's very funny. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm trying to think if there's any movies I want to give like a shout out to for zombie movies. Rabid? Zombie?
I don't think so. I think I'm okay.
I think I have a list that I want to talk about.
Oh, I guess the original Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah. That's
Shout
a good
out
one.
George Romero.
I talked about the Crazies earlier.
Yep.
That's another one that's sort of zombie. Paranorman has zombies. I like Paranorman. I stan Paranorman.
Stan.
There's one that... Okay, there's this movie called The Cabin in the Woods. Technically has zombies.
Oh.
Not really a zombie movie, so I didn't include it. It's more of a... I can't even explain what kind of movie it is, but it is good. I like it. This is kind of a big deal. I like Cabin in the Woods. The Cabin in the Woods. It's got Thor in it, Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
I like it. It's good. That's all I gotta say. And yeah, I don't know. Zombievers.
Oh, Zombievers.
Zombievers.
Wow, phenomenal. Highly recommend Zombievers.
Now I like the rules of that one where animals can get infected.
Great film. Yes.
I dig that.
Zombievers, great ending. An all-time ending. Just awesome. Love the end.
Yeah, remember what Get Out's original ending was supposed to be? It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So Zombievers, Get Out, very similar films. I would also like to point out, just because we talked about Shudder a bit, I did watch 2 Shudder original movies about zombies that we did not talk about. One was Yummy.
Yummy.
Yes. It's about some people who go to a plastic surgery hospital, and a breakout happens there.
Nice.
It's got some good laughs and stuff. The other one was Blood Quantum, which was so close to being like really good, I think. But it's basically about this reservation where a bunch of Native Americans lived, and they found out that the Native Americans were immune. Every other race totally got the virus and, killed everybody.
Interesting.
So, when people had to go out, they relied on them because they would all have bites all over their body. They had to put themselves in danger like that. Only problem was the whole basis of the film was that there was one guy who was like, can we get the white people out, basically, and his plan wasn't stupid, but like I didn't know what his plan was after the plan.
Okay.
Because if his plan would have worked, there would have been at best like 12 people, because there's like 300, and obviously he's like, they outnumber us, this is dangerous. And if his plan would have worked, there would have been like 12 people left, and nobody was on his side except for maybe one other person. So if his plan would have worked, there would have been 2 people left, him and some fat old guy.
Oh.
So I was really disappointed with some of that logic, but still entertaining.
Interesting.
At the very least. And that's all I got.
Yeah. Thank you for the question. Hey, listen. You could send us a question.
Uh-huh.
All you have to do is email us at thestaglerpod@gmail.com.
And we just talked about a question for like 20 minutes or something crazy.
Yeah,
so maybe we'll talk about yours that long.
You know what I'm saying? Just like email us, you know what I'm saying?
Email us whatever. Nobody sent us an email with a picture. If you send us an email with a picture, I'll be happy.
Sure.
I don't know. Just I like attachments.
Homework.
Yeah, sure. Next time, our show is going to be on Halloween.
It's on Halloween.
It's going to be on Halloween. Ooh. Which is very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
lucky us.
It'll be out by midnight on Halloween, because it does take a second for the actual audio to come from the stream. But I think it'll be out by then.
Should be fine.
Maybe we'll do it a little bit earlier if we can.
Sure.
Halloween, what are we going to talk about? Well, it was kind of tough, honestly, to decide exactly what we wanted to talk about. But we decided on something, try to be as contemporary as possible, So we're going to basically be talking about the 2010s of horror, 2010 to like now. What do we want to say? Like define new horror movies, because there really has been a wave of this new kind of, not genre, but new approach to horror movies, where you look at very specific, I mean, it's always been like this, but it's just kind of had a resurgence of very stigmatized or overlooked things in society and life, really focus on them and delve into them as a concept for horror. You know what I mean? So we're talking about movies like Get Out, It Follows, The Babadooks, like this. We're probably going to talk about all 3 of those,
Yeah.
And we're going to get into it and try to define the 2010s for horror. What movies would you say, yeah, this was this decade, and looking forward into the future,
It's going to be good, I think. I think we got a good one coming up.
You've seen a lot of new since you've been keeping up to date with horror now. So you have a lot more experience with it. It should be a lot of fun.
Yes, it'll be better for me personally.
It should be great for all of us. It should be a good time for everybody involved. But that's going to have to wait until next time. I'm very sorry.
Yeah, unfortunately, we can't do it right now.
Unfortunately, we got to go home. We got stuff to take care of. We have lives.
Okay? Yeah.
We don't live on the internet yet.
Yeah.
I'm trying really hard, but not yet.
Yeah.
Eventually, I will have a USB implanted into the back of my skull, and I can just plug in and never plug out.
Just like an upgrade.
Have you seen the stuff Elon Musk is working on? Where they're like, yes, put this chip in your brain. You control things with your mind.
Elon Musk is doing crazy stuff. I can't keep up with everything he does, but good for him.
I just thought of that. I just came up with the news. Okay, hold on. I was going to say goodbye, but we got to talk about this first.
Okay.
New zombie movie. This is free. Anybody can take this. Cyber zombies. Everyone gets a hyperlink implanted in their skull.
Whoa.
They get hacked. Everyone's gone crazy.
Wow.
Total hack. And then the end, maybe there's an EMP or I don't know. I don't know what would happen at the end.
Interesting.
Would that kill people, though, if you shut off their electricity? Interesting. Black Mirror. Go ahead and take
Black Mirror. Do this cyber zombie episode.
Cyber zombies, man. But until Halloween.
Thanks for watching.
And we'll catch you later.